I mean, you look at compare him, if you like, to Harry Kane. Harry Kane put out on loan to football teams that really he should never have been on loan for. Look what he's doing now, and he's doing it in Germany.
Steve, do you know what? Everything that you said there, when you tried to sort of frame it, and you did frame it as being a negative. He likes all eyes on him. There is an ego attached to Jude Bellingham. Do you not think that kind of approach is exactly what we need? Someone of stature, someone who believes, someone who knows how to win top tier silverware, someone who doesn't accept second best.
Well, again, a fair point. I think the proof is in the pudding. I sadly believe that what I'm saying is going to turn out to be accurate, because we're not going to know that yet, because we're talking about the future, aren't we? I.e. the tournament that's coming up in the not too distant future. So I just don't feel that. If you look at the atmosphere and it's been mentioned several times, the atmosphere in the camp, it's superb. Now, I think that will change with the presence of Jude Bellingham. Don't ask me why. I just feel
got the feeling. You got the feeling. I don't know, Steve. I'm not sure. Thanks for your call, Steve. Really appreciate it, mate. I don't know. I think the boys in the England camp love Jude. I think it could be a different problem if he goes and he doesn't play, or he's not. But
England are not good enough. And when I say England aren't good enough, there isn't a team that will be going to this tournament that are good enough to have a player as capable, as proven, and as elite as Jude Bellingham not in the starting lineup.
It's crazy. This is exactly what the squad announcements do, the international squad announcements. Right, this is Thank Football. It's Friday. Next, we'll be turning our attention to tomorrow's big game, exclusively live on talkSPORT, as Spurs host Manchester United.
More green jackets have been lost at the 12th than at the Augusta City Dry Cleaners. Rory McIlroy knows this better than most. But what is Amen Corner and why is it so iconic? The famous sequence has always been there since the Masters began in 1934. It didn't get its name until '58, though, when American sports writer Herbert Warren Wind, on the left, wrote, "At the farthest reach of the Augusta National Course, down in the Amen Corner." He drew inspiration from the 1933 jazz song Shouting in That Amen Corner by the Dorsey Brothers. The reason behind its difficulty is all in the sand and the water. Tournament officials don't even bother to count the balls lost in there each year, such is the sheer number. The 11th, named White Dogwood, is a downhill 520-yard par 4 with a pond to the left of the green and a bunker to the right. Both cause a lot of trouble each year. The 12th, Golden Bell, is perhaps the most famous hole in the world, with danger everywhere. Many aim for the flag, but look, get it even slightly wrong, and you're in the azaleas at the back, or the bunkers at the front, or even worse, Rays Creek. Or you can play it safe and aim for the open green on the left. You chicken. Tiger Woods once said, if you make 4 bogeys from Thursday to Sunday, you're doing well. And the highest ever score on that hole? 13. It's a par 3. Tom Weiskopf in 1980.
talkSPORT is the place to be for the return of the Premier League. Corner in towards Casemiro! Oh, Mickey van der Ven, what a run this is. 50 yards, 60 yards. What a goal!
It's talkSPORT. We are Premier League.
That's right, we are Premier League. This is talkSPORT. This is Thank Football. It's Friday with myself, Flex, and Rory Jennings. We're going to be with you up until 10 p.m. This is where your Premier League action gets underway for a big weekend of football. Remember, we will be talking about Manchester United and Spurs very shortly. Loads more to get through during the show, but I do want to let you guys know that the latest episode of the talkSPORT Daily Podcast is available now, as me, presenter Ollie Kling, and Spurs podcaster Ricky Sachs discuss Spurs and Man United, asking who has kicked on most since that Europa League final back in May. Tune into the talkSPORT app or wherever you get your podcast from. And don't forget, commentary of Spurs versus Man United will be live on Game Day exclusive from 11 a.m. tomorrow. I'll also be on that as well at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium with the team. Busy man, I'm looking forward to it. Big game tomorrow. Manchester United taking on Spurs. We are looking to avenge. Well, I say avenge because after the embarrassment of what Spurs did to us in the San Mamés Stadium in Bilbao, a regular game out of the 38-game season that's just worth 3 points isn't going to avenge that loss. It's not going to avenge that loss because it was totally and utterly diabolical what happened out in Spain in May. But we owe them one. I'm sick of the sight of Spurs. I am. As a Man United fan, I do my best to make sure I sort of little bro Spurs. I'm always like, yeah, but you're Spurs, I'm Man United.
Sadly, you can't.
And that's what. No. And do you know what, Rory? That's what annoys me now, because it's that sad realization. And there'll be Spurs fans listening and say, listen to this Man United fan living in the past. Yeah, it's exactly, mate. And it's the truth. It is the truth. We have become more like them in recent history, and that annoys me.
What they did to you in Bilbao is historic, and everything that we've thought about Tottenham, like we called them Spursism as an ideology. Spursism as an ideology ended up in the dictionary, didn't it?
Yep.
That all ended that night. Like, the famous Sir Alex Ferguson quote, "Lads, it's Tottenham."
Yeah.
When
Can't say it anymore.
His team went in 3-0 down against it, he said, "Lads, it's Tottenham. What are you doing?" That's gone as well.
Yep.
So no, you've effectively changed the entire fabric and tapestry of Tottenham Hotspur.
And in the league, away from that, in the league, can't see them for love nor money.
No.
At Old Trafford, at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, Carabao Cup, don't matter. We can't win.
They've got your number. They've got the beating of you.
And that is why this game coming up tomorrow is massive. It's massive in terms of both teams. That look, Manchester United have been really good in the last 4 games. I say really good.
Really, have you?
When I say really good, I mean really good compared to what we have been.
Yeah, that's fair.
Compared to, losing pretty much every other game, can't build any momentum. I think in the last 4 games to get 3 wins and a draw, and one of those wins being at Anfield to avenge a 9-year hoodoo at that ground, going on to beat Brighton, which on the revenge tour is another team that over the last couple of years we can't beat. And then picking up a point at Forest, which we could have won on a different day. I've seen some more positive signs. Today we've just been awarded the manager of the month and the player of the month. You know what? That is a turnaround. I don't care how you want to phrase it. I've been one of the most negative Man United fans because of what I've been seeing, and rightly so, because of how badly we are. But at the same time, if I'm going to give that criticism, I'm definitely going to be here for the praise. I'm definitely going to be here for the good times. And in the month of October, we had a really good month.
Yeah, you certainly did. You certainly did okay. You certainly did better than a lot of people thought you were going to do. And you've moved up the table. You've got some big points on the board. You've put in some good performances. Certain signings have really clicked. And Manchester United, for the first time under Ruben Amorim, are moving in the right direction.
Yeah.
But I do think we're getting a little bit carried away here. I do think that we won 3 games in a row. Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. And I think the draw at Forest, I know the circumstances suggest that Manchester United should have probably won. But the draw at Forest, new manager bounce, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, exactly.
Point away from home.
Yeah.
But
Not back.
But it doesn't undermine that brief 4-game period of success doesn't change the year that it's taken you to get to that stage.
No,
the
and nobody
year
should
that's
say it
gone
does.
before it.
It shouldn't change that. But what it can be, and what, you know, even me where I've been in my negative state, what it can be is a point of reference to keep moving further away from that point.
You need
and that is only time we had to get. Yeah, we need to.
At the moment, I don't think anything's changed. Over the next 3 or 4 games,
We'll find out.
we will know. Yeah, you've had a decent run.
Yeah,
But nothing has changed at Manchester United. I truly believe that Ruben Amorim should have been sacked that night when Manchester United put in that turgid performance. Like Manchester United, the great Manchester United, losing to Tottenham in a European final is sackable. Not only for the manager, by the way. I think that
all the players should have been fired.
So many members of that squad. The only player who actually paid with his place in the squad was a kid, Rasmus Højlund. Like Garnacho left, but that was different circumstances. There were so many players at fault for that. Not turning up in a European final is so far removed from who Manchester United is supposed to be.
Listen, it was shocking. But you know,
Everton,
we have to see.
Everton, Palace, West Ham, Wolves, Bournemouth. Those 5 games will tell us exactly who Manchester United are, and whether Ruben Amorim is capable of keeping them.
Yeah, and all you can do is you know, go game by game. If we're talking about Ruben Amorim, he says despite going 4 games unbeaten for the first time since March, United boss Ruben Amorim still believes that there's a lot for his side to improve on.
We cannot forget that we have a lot to improve. We are more prepared for anything that happened in the game, so that is also a good thing. So we are in the better moment, but we also know that we have a lot to do, a lot to improve, to win more this kind of games and consistently win games in a row.
Manchester United head coach Ruben Amorim speaking there about needing to do more, and he's saying what you're saying.
Yeah,
he's saying what he hasn't. Listen, he's very measured. Ruben Amorim, you know, there's a lot gone on. Sometimes he's maybe been a bit over emotional and said some things that if you're a Man United manager here, it gets taken in the wrong way. I've definitely taken some things the wrong way. But what he is right about is that it's game by game. We've got a lot more to do. And he's right. He spoke about, like, when he was asked, like, what's changed. He said, well, the way we approach games, the way we train, my instructions are still the same. It's just that we've had a little bit more luck as well. Like, you know, against Liverpool, he was sort of saying, like, on a different day, Liverpool score quite a couple more. You know, Gakpo crashes the post back 3 times. You need a little bit of luck to go your way, and then in turn you get that little bit of luck. The confidence is now starting to come out of the players. What I will say, which isn't luck, is the recruitment. Bringing in Brian Mbeumo and Matheus Cunha have been masterstrokes. And the reason why it has been is because they're Premier League proven. That is something Manchester United / Sir Alex Ferguson used to do all the time. From Berbatov to Van Persie to York to Cole to Rooney to Tevez, you know, even to Zaha and Alan Smith, like whatever. The list goes on and on of buying Premier League Van der Sar. Do you know what I mean? Rio Ferdinand. You go and buy Premier League proven players, and Manchester United have moved away from that. And we're seeing the fruits of our labour by buying 2 players that you don't have to put your arm around. You don't have to worry about can they cope with the pressure and the intensity and how difficult it is and the pressures of playing in the Premier League. They know what they're doing. But going into this game, I think this is going to be a better measure of where both teams are actually, because if you look at Spurs, Rory, from a Spurs perspective, have you been impressed with them under Thomas Frank? Because at home, the home record is absolutely turgid. It's terrible. Yeah. But away from home, and when you look at their points tally, they're probably whereabouts.
The performance that they put in last week against us, which is one of the biggest games that Tottenham play, like Chelsea versus Tottenham, and I'm not belittling them that way, by the way. It's certainly how I feel. One of the biggest games that Chelsea will play in the season is when we face Tottenham Hotspur twice that year. It's the fixture that you look for. It's a fixture that matters. It's a rivalry. We sing about Tottenham every week. And Tottenham didn't turn up in that fixture.
Yeah.
It finished 1-0, but it was the most one-sided 1-0 battering.
Vicario.
Yeah. We were far and away better. We totally dominated at White Hart Lane, which is something that we do, but it's also something that's totally unacceptable from a Tottenham perspective. However, I think, look, I've been seeing Tottenham winning games in Europe. I've been seeing Tottenham, like they beat Manchester City this year. I think Thomas Frank is a good manager. And I understand that the fans want a bit more. But ultimately, I think that they're moving in the right direction. I mean, what they did, if you look at what they did in the summer, they went from a proven, dreadful, inept Premier League manager in Ange Postecoglou. Like, he is clearly that. Look, whether he won silver or not, cannot manage in the Premier League. Like, he's completely out of his depth.
Yeah.
Like, the way that he would laugh and scoff when people would ask him about set pieces. You know, it's just the way we are, mate. When they had 2 men sent off against us and they're playing on a high line, and they went, "Why'd you do that?" He went, "I'd do the same with 5 men." I'm like, "Well, you just get battered then, don't you?"
No, the game would be abandoned. You wouldn't even be a game.
That's not football, is it? Your job is to find ways to win games of football, not admit that you can't find a way to win. So they've brought in the anti-Ange Postecoglou. They've brought in the polar opposite. And Thomas Frank is an excellent manager. I think they're moving in the right direction.
Yeah, we'll talk more about Spurs after the break, but I just see this as a real opportunity for Manchester United. Yes, to avenge some of the scars, because it can't truly be avenged in one Premier League game, but avenge some of the scars before being embarrassed. You beat them in your next
meeting, though.
You beat them, exactly. If this is the first time I've seen you since you've done that to me, there's a problem.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
if you personally diss me,
it doesn't change anything. They can't beat you again.
Exactly.
They can't beat you again. They can't beat you in a European final,
Rory,
and then beat you again.
If this was me and you in a fight, last time you laid me,
you're in big trouble, mate.
Last time you laid me out in front of everyone. When I'm supposed to knock you out.
Mate, I will hit you
no
with
offense.
a combo like
yeah, physically to look at as a specimen. I'm bigger than you. Yeah. I'm stronger than you.
You've got to win.
I should be winning. Yeah, but you flattened me in front of everyone. Do you think the next time that we buck up in public that I'm not going to... This can happen again?
It can't happen again, isn't it? It's a statement. Manchester United have a chance.
Even if it's for the title or not.
A statement. They can make a statement. They're moving in the right direction. They need the 3 points, but they can also say to Tottenham, normal services resumed.
Exactly. And in the case of Manchester United, meanwhile, Alan Pardew was alongside Madge on the final word and discussed whether the Premier League needs a strong United side.
For Amorim, I think this is probably what he needed this year, just to sort of work on the team, get his ideas across, sort that energy out in midfield, as you're saying, Jill, and get the striker up and running. And maybe we'll have a Manchester United that we can all be proud of as a country, because, let's be honest, they're still the biggest club in the world in terms of supporters.
Not one football fan in the world other than Man United fans want to be proud of Man United.
Yeah, no, I do. I'm not a Man United fan.
Mate, you are on your own.
There's absolutely brilliant stuff there from Alan Pardew. Love you for that, Pardew. Absolutely brilliant. Rory, it is an interesting debate. You're a football purist. I'd like to call you a football purist. Would you call yourself a football purist?
I'd like to think so, yeah. I certainly believe in the traditions of the game.
So are you one of those fans that Alan Pardew's talking about, that you would be, is the word proud, right. Would you be proud as a Brit that, there's a strong Man United, or do you agree with Madge that actually, no, Man United have caused multiple amounts of pain to every fan base. Let them suffer. Let them be miserable. This is brilliant.
I think somewhere between the two. I think Alan Pardew is actually correct. I think he's onto something. And let me just clarify it.
Go on.
I want Manchester United to be Manchester United. I want them to be strong. I want them to be proud. I want them to be the British institution that can be represented. Then I want it to all go wrong. I want them to get beat. But what I don't want to happen is I don't want them to be destroyed from the inside out. I don't want the Glazers ruining a British institution. I'm proud of Manchester United, the history of Manchester United, the Holy Trinity outside of Old Trafford. I'm proud of what the club have achieved and represent. I'm proud of the resilience. I think that's the perfect word to describe Manchester United. The resilience over the years, everything that's happened to that club. Yeah, I like Manchester United existing and being strong.
Would you like Manchester United to return back to winning the big honours?
No, I'd like them to never win big honours again, but I want them to be correct. I want them to be run correctly. I want them to be Manchester United. And I would extend that courtesy to every rival. Everybody knows that I have a real bias against Tottenham Hotspur.
Yeah.
Leeds United, Chelsea, one of Chelsea's biggest rivals. Liverpool, we had a huge rivalry with.
Yeah.
I want these clubs to exist. I don't want these clubs to be run into the ground by foreign billionaires who are desperately trying to extract money out of them. I want them to fail, but I want them to fail in the correct way.
Yeah.
I want them to fail. When Chelsea beat Leeds in the 1970 Cup final, something that we sing about every game now. Chelsea beat Leeds. Leeds were proper. They were a representation of Leeds, and they were as strong as Leeds could be. But we were better.
Yeah.
That's what I want Manchester United to be. But no, of course, Alan Pardew is onto something to acknowledge that if you are a football fan, as much as you can dislike Manchester United and sing about hating Manchester United, you need Manchester United to exist and be strong, for football in this country to exist and be strong.
I think that's a really interesting point. I don't think there's many that agree with you, because we are hated, adored, never ignored, but we don't care. Right, next up, we're going to be looking at the other team involved in tomorrow's game at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, Tottenham Hotspur.
Get in the ring to win on talkSPORT.
We've got a new prize up for grabs, and it's a knockout. We're giving you the chance to win 2 tickets to the highly anticipated rematch between Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium on Saturday the 15th of November. The prize includes a one-night stay at a 5-star hotel in London plus £5,000 spending money to make it an unforgettable weekend. Listen up, and here's how to enter.
18 plus, UK excluding Northern Ireland. For a chance to win, text the word BOX to 83338 and you're in the draw. Text costs £2 plus one standard network rate message. You must have the bill payer's permission, or you can enter for free by calling 0330 880 3338. All entries must be received by the 13th of November at 1 p.m. and you need to answer our call to win. This is a TalkSPORT limited promotion. Full terms and conditions at talksport.com.
And don't forget that talkSPORT will bring you live commentary of the fight next Saturday evening, while you'll also be able to watch along with the team over on talkSPORT Boxing YouTube channel. That's Chris Eubank Jr. versus Conor Benn, and that's live next Saturday on talkSPORT or watch on DAZN. What a fight that's going to be, the rematch. Was it into boxing, Rory?
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah,
I love it. I'm going to the rematch.
You going to it? Who you got for it?
Chris,
Eubank going to do him again?
Eubank.
Probably easier this time.
I'm a Eubank man.
I'm a Eubank man.
I'm a Eubank man. I love
that everybody doesn't like him.
No, I love it. I love him. I love his dad. I love the family. I love what they did. I love that fight at Old Trafford where the dads went at it. I love everything about it.
Unbelievable.
That scene, you know, that moment in British boxing. In fact, it's beyond British boxing. It's beyond boxing. It transcends sport. You know when Chris Eubank Sr. gets out the back of the black cab?
Rollers. Was it a black cab?
Black cab.
It was a black
cab.
Yeah.
Gets out the back of the black cab. It was one of the most iconic, poignant moments of sport. It was amazing. He is such a geezer.
Being able to do that and not talk.
He's such a geezer, Chris
Eubank.
I love him. I love the family. I love everything about it, and it's going to be a war. I was so impressed with both fighters.
Yeah.
Off the back of the first fight.
Yeah, even Conor got a lot of respect as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
It's considering the tough time he's had.
It's going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
I cannot wait.
It's going to be a great fight.
I'm going over there. It's going to be good.
I hope you enjoy it, and obviously a lucky winner will be enjoying it as well, as we just heard from that competition. Right, onto the football now. Let's talk about Spurs in a little bit more detail. It feels like some of the Spurs fans, or maybe a large portion, or maybe a large minority, I don't know, but some of them are not entirely happy with what we've seen. And some of the Spurs fans I've spoken to, they've spoken about it being a little bit boring, can't create. You know, it was very embarrassing against Chelsea. I'm not an XG merchant. I don't really like it. But when it is very glaringly obvious from the XG, 0.01 something, i.e. eye test will even tell you they're not creating. But when you look at the league table, they're doing all right. They're coming off the back of finishing 17th with Ange's rock and roll, unsustainable football, which we all saw. But some people aren't very, very happy with him. Can you see that, or do you think it's too early to start suggesting that he's too boring and this, that, and the other?
No, I don't. I think what has to happen is, and this isn't something that you hear often, but there just needs to be room for a little bit of nuance. He took over a team that were in total and utter disarray. Ange Postecoglou had that team. It's totally glossed over by the fact that they somehow managed to limp into a final, beating the mighty Bodo Glimt and then beating a pitiful Manchester United team. If that didn't happen, that Tottenham team could have genuinely gone down. Yeah. That's how bad Tottenham were.
100%.
In fact, if the bottom three last year had anything about them, rather than like Russell Martin at Southampton, if they had a manager that could make a go of it, like Regis Lebris in the league, Tottenham could have gone down last year. Yeah, that is how bad it was. But it wouldn't have even been a shock for that Tottenham team to go down. They were getting beat every week. So when somebody like Thomas Frank has taken the reins, there's a lot to put right.
You've got to stabilise. You've got to get a foundation.
Ultimately, they're 6th in the league. They've gone from 17th in the league to 6th in the league. So it's moving in the right directions. They're winning games in Europe. They're going to qualify into the next round of the Champions League. I think they need to remember where they were this time last year.
What do you think about the home form? We'll hear from Thomas Frank in a second, but their home form still being very, very shaky. They only beat Burnley on the first day of the season 3-0. Since then, Wolves basically nearly beat them. They had to get last-minute goal from Paulinho. Chelsea, Bournemouth, Villa have all won there at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
Villa were two worldies, and I think you can kind of explain it away. In fact, most of the defeats that you can explain away, the one that I think is worrying...
Wolves.
No, us, Chelsea.
Oh,
because it's a game that they just
should have been up for. Yeah,
it's a game that they had to be up for. The fans would have been really up for it. They know the history of the club. The two teams themselves have had some enthralling encounters over the years. It really is a big fixture. It's one of the fixtures, in fact, in the Premier League that is basically a guarantee for fireworks. It's a big game. There's often a game that delivers, and Tottenham just weren't up for it. That would trouble me. But look at what's happened since. They had a terrible result in the London derby, the worst result of the season. suddenly they're slapping up teams in Europe. So they've found a rhythm, they found an answer. It looked like there was a little bit of unrest in the dressing room, didn't it? I honestly believe that football at times can be a very simple game. And there is a direct correlation between if you appoint a serious manager, you become a serious football club. Tottenham were a joke under Postecoglou.
Yeah.
They have now appointed a serious manager, and I'm taking them very seriously as a serious football club.
Well, Spurs boss Thomas Frank believes playing at home will give his side a good chance of a victory.
Playing home and away shouldn't matter. To play home should be a massive boost. When we play at home, we should feel even more confident, even more, how can you say, aligned, even more willing to do everything.
Thomas Frank talking there, saying that he thinks that it gives his side a good chance of victory, putting it right. I mean,
they've got to start winning at home.
They have to. And I just hope that my team don't pull up there and then they get their home run going again. That is my biggest fear.
You need to go for the jugular.
100%.
Like Ruben Amorim needs to be going there for the victory. He needs to go there intent on winning. He needs to be ambitious. He needs to be slightly cavalier. And he needs to put Tottenham under major pressure, because we know when Tottenham are at home, if they're under pressure, they often wilt. But I actually think normal service will be resumed. I think Thomas Frank finds a way.
Over the past year, Rory, Spurs have played 19 home games and won just 3.
19 home games and won 3. Yeah, but that's all Postecoglou. It's like the vast majority.
It's not all him. It's not.
No, the vast majority.
Obviously the vast majority. But he's come in and he's only won 1 home game himself.
Yeah, but the vast majority of that is Postecoglou. Also, maybe a lot of the problems that they're having at home was entrenched from last year. You know, that's what the governments do, isn't it? They come in and blame the ones before. I'm blaming Postecoglou for this.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Remember, that is tomorrow, 12:30, presented by Resman Chowdhury, commentary from Sam Matterface and former England captain Stuart Pearce. That is talkSPORT exclusive tomorrow. And I'll be on it as well if you want to hear from myself in the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium as well. Right, Watford and Bristol City is about to get underway on talkSPORT 2. But next, we'll be looking ahead to Manchester City against Liverpool on Sunday.
Tyson Fury, Floyd Mayweather, Canelo Alvarez. Just hearing these names makes you think money and the hundreds of millions of dollars, pounds or Saudi riyals in boxing. But that's at the top. At the bottom, it isn't quite the same. Even for those on the rise, there's not an awful lot of cash in the boxing world. And if you're just starting out, well, it can be a very costly exercise indeed. But don't take my word for it. Here's the former European champion, talkSPORT's Spencer Oliver.
You're turning professional and you're boxing, let's say, York Hall on a non-televised fight. You have to sell tickets to earn any money, but you have to cover the wages of your opponent as well. So if you don't have the ability to be able to sell enough tickets, you effectively have to pay to fight.
A far cry then from Jake Paul facing Mike Tyson in 2024, when the purse was reported to be around £48 million. But the vast amounts of cash lining the top dog's pockets isn't the norm in a typical fight.
Let's say you're lucky and you get between 5 and 10 grand. You're going to get 10 grand max for that. 10% goes to the trainer, 25% goes to the manager. Then we've got the tax man to pay as well. So we're cutting that money in at least half. So now you've got 5 grand for a 10-week camp. So you're talking about a guy here earning, he might be clearing 500 quid a week. How do you support a family on that? So boxers chase the dream. And, you know, there's probably 2% of them that actually make it.
So say you do make it and you start to rise up the ranks. Strikers Boxing, a training academy, says the mid-tier fighters can earn more, somewhere between £10,000 and £50,000 a fight, depending on record, profile, opponent and popularity of weight class. It's only at the top level does the real cash start flowing in, with the top-tier professionals, i.e. those going for titles, earning 6 figures a fight. Something else you'll have heard of is the terms prize fighter or journeyman. A prize fighter is, as it sounds, someone who picks up fights where they can and gets a nice big check if they win. Journeymen are the fighters who take on up-and-comers, effectively used for experience in the ring. Even if they're going up against the real prospects, a young Anthony Joshua, for example, these guys will be lucky to earn more than 10 grand. So the average boxer isn't as rich as you'd think.
Is the Premier League. This is talkSPORT, and it's about to heat up again.
Right footed into the top corner. His left-footed drive from the edge of the D. It's a bullet into the net from Phil Foden.
Given away, Mo Salah. This time Liverpool have the lead, and it is Mo Salah with back-to-back Premier League goals.
It's the Premier League, and nothing is over until it's over.
It's a huge weekend of Premier League action. This is Frank Football. It's Friday with myself, Flex, and Rory Jennings. We're going to be with you up until 10 p.m. And it is the big one on Sunday at the Etihad to mark Pep Guardiola's 1,000th game. His 1,000th game as a manager and counting. Feels like he could do another 1,000. He's still got a lot of games.
An amazing achievement, isn't it? It's a truly amazing achievement.
Unbelievable. Liverpool taking on Manchester City at the Etihad Stadium. And all eyes will be on that game as they attempt to try and keep pace with Arsenal, because Arsenal are 6 points clear of City, 7 clear of Liverpool, in a must-win game for both of these teams, Roy.
Yeah, it certainly does feel like that. It certainly does feel like both Manchester City and Liverpool are desperate for the 3 points, and it's very difficult to predict what way it will go. It does feel like the only winners this weekend can really be Arsenal, but I feel like there's a bit of jeopardy in their game. I feel like going away.
You think they're going to have a little slip up there at the Stadium of Light?
I'll tell you what I think about this title race.
I can't see it, right?
And if we keep the focus on Man City, Liverpool, right? Yeah. My feelings on this title race, and they could well be wrong, But I think that there are so many twists and turns to come. You know this narrative that Arsenal are already champions?
No,
Arsenal have already run away with it. Arsenal are definitely going to win the league. People are saying that Arsenal are favourites not only for the European Cup, but also for the Premier League. You can see them doing a double. People are saying that they could break Chelsea's record of conceding only 15 goals. I just don't believe that that is where we are. I think that the title race could still go in a number of directions. I think that Arsenal could easily finish first, but I also believe that they could easily finish third. I think that by the time that the festive fixtures come around, we know that there's always jeopardy on those. And this Arsenal team, they look immense. They look different. There is something very striking about them. But let's also remember that we've seen Arsenal in very privileged situations in the past. The one that always springs to my mind, and there's other examples to use, but the one that always springs to my mind, the Valentine's Day game when Danny Welbeck scored, they beat Leicester.
Yeah, they beat Leicester, yeah.
That was the moment when, look, I desperately, cards on the table, I desperately do not want Arsenal to win the league. I'd rather either of the other two win it. In fact, I'd rather any other team in the league win it. But this is the situation that we're in. I would rather they didn't win it, but I had to actually rationalise a world where they were to win it that year.
Yeah.
In that year, the year that Leicester won it, 2016 Valentine's Day was the day that I went, okay, let's start now thinking about the world that it is when Arsenal have won a league title. And they didn't win it.
In terms of Manchester City and what they need to do, listen, Pep Guardiola's bought them 6 Premier League titles. You know, I think he won 4 in a row.
Now, were you being snide there when you said bought them 6? Was that?
No, I wasn't. I meant brought them as in like
brought the titles to them rather than
not that he bought it with real money.
Them.
Yeah, I'm not trying to get down that route.
Okay.
I think that narrative's been spun already. We'll leave other people to do that one. But he's brought them a lot of success, right? What do you think the perception of Pep Guardiola's legacy is like if he doesn't get this next Premier League? Because he's got 6 of them, and 4 came within a condensed period when they were like untouchable, right? But then they've had a blip last season and Liverpool have won, and he's stayed and extended till 2027. If he doesn't get another Premier League in these next couple of years for him staying, does that affect his legacy and how we speak about Pep?
It doesn't affect it for me. Pep Guardiola,
I agree with that.
Pep Guardiola could easily not win another trophy, and where I position him, where I believe he ranks in the pantheon of great managers, it will not be changed. No. I think that he is clearly the second best manager to have ever managed on these shores. He's nowhere near the first best. He's nowhere comparable to the first best manager to have managed on these shores, but he's a lot better than whoever you believe is third. Maybe you believe it's Arsene Wenger, maybe you believe it's Jurgen Klopp, maybe you believe it's Jose Mourinho. Whoever you believe is the third best, sadly we have to acknowledge that Pep Guardiola is better, but he isn't comparable to Sir Alex Ferguson. You know when you said 6, by the way?
Yeah.
6, I think it's important for us to acknowledge just how brilliant 6 is.
It's ridiculous.
Just to put it in context. Yeah. Chelsea, I believe, are one of the biggest clubs in the country.
Yeah.
Like, let's not even go controversial with it. Chelsea are at the very least in the top 5 biggest clubs in the country.
Yeah.
We've won 6.
You've got 6 in your whole career.
Sunderland in their entire history 6. Pep Guardiola 6.
He's done that in his short tenure.
But Pep Guardiola, he is only the best of the rest. He is only comparable to Arsene Wenger, comparable to Jose Mourinho, comparable to Carlo Ancelotti, comparable to Antonio Conte.
Yeah, Sir Alex is in a league of his own.
He's nowhere near.
And there's going to be, City fans listening to this absolutely not agreeing with this. There'll be other,
they can not agree, but they're wrong.
That's fine.
No, there are certain things. It's
a fact of life.
There are certain things that are opinion based. There are certain things that we can have a debate over. There are certain things that I will sometimes fall on my sword and go, do you know what? Maybe I've got this one wrong.
Yeah.
This is the least controversial thing that I have ever said on this radio station. Least controversial.
I don't know. You said a lot.
This is the least. Sir Alex Ferguson
is the greatest ever manager.
He's a far superior manager to Pep Guardiola. And in other news, water is wet. Like they're just not. They just don't play the same sport. Compare Guardiola to some greats. You can compare Guardiola all you like to Mourinho, and we can have that debate. But leave Sir Alex Ferguson out of it.
Sir Alex Ferguson, obviously, for me, is the greatest. I think the way he kept rebuilding teams, keep fending off different eras of football. And, of course, the longevity is always going to play a part in it. And just the way he did things. But, look, as a United fan...
What was Sir Alex Ferguson? 13 league titles? 13?
Joke.
Like, it's ridiculous.
Joke.
It's ridiculous. Joke. And whoever came along, whoever the challenger was, whoever the heir to the throne was...
Always fending them off. But, listen... In defence to Pep Guardiola, for me to keep it neutral as a broadcaster, he also done a treble. He did a treble beating Manchester United on the way to that treble as well.
Okay, but if you want to make it bigger,
I'm only playing
if you want to make it bigger, I've got one word. I've got one word that can end this debate.
I don't want it to just look like I'm being biased.
If you want to make it broader and start bringing in Pep Guardiola's contribution to German football, to Spanish football, to whatever, if you want to do that, I can end this in one word.
Go on.
Pitodry. Pitodry. Do you think Pep Guardiola can go and win a European trophy at Pitodry? Because I guarantee you the answer is no. Yeah, I guarantee you.
Unbelievable what Sir Alex did. Right, over on talkSPORT 2, Watford have taken a lead against Bristol City through Mark Bowler. It's 1-0 to the Hornets. But former Liverpool and Manchester United midfielder Didi Hamann was on the breakfast show this morning, and he believes the Reds have to win, as in Liverpool. Yes, the Reds have to win to have any chance of retaining their title.
To make it harder for the opposition to score, but obviously Foden is a brilliant player. Brilliant to watch, and as you say, the way he passes the ball into the corner is just second to none. With Haaland, you always know you can't take him out of the game for 90 minutes. I think it's got to be a collective effort. But as I said, they kept 2 clean sheets now. Their defending hasn't been good early in the season, even when they won the games. And I'm quietly confident, I have to say, because they're 7 points behind now. If you were to lose, it could be 10. And I wouldn't say it's the end of their charge to defend the title, but it'll be a big ask.
I said Arnie Slot. It wasn't Arnie Slot speaking. It was Didi Hamann speaking on the breakfast show this morning and sort of talking about the importance of Liverpool winning this game. It's been a good week for Arnie Slot's side, but I think if they lose to Manchester City and Arsenal win, it's going to be a monumental task from there on out. Still not impossible.
But not impossible.
Still not impossible. I still believe it's way too early. We're not even at Christmas yet. But this version of Arsenal,
do you subscribe to this theory then? Do you see Arsenal winning the league?
Yeah.
Do you think that they win?
I'm not saying they're favourites. I'm saying they're in a strong position. I'm saying that the drop-off from Liverpool at this precise moment has come at a good time for Arsenal. Arsenal are super strong, super consistent. I think Arsenal have addressed the issues that were letting them down in terms of quality and depth and quality. I think mentally, the resilience is stronger. It seems they look different. I think their ability to win games, and now we're starting to call, I say we because I don't buy into this rubbish that they're boring and this, that and the other. Who cares, mate? They're top of the league. They don't concede shots. What's boring is Arsenal winning football matches, and we're just used to hating on them. I said this the other week. We're used to laughing at Arsenal for being naive, for being too open, for being expansive, for being nearly men. And listen, by the end of the season, Rory, if they don't win anything, if they come up short, we can have that conversation. We all could laugh at Arsenal again. But right now, what are they doing wrong? No. They're top of their Champions League. They're 4 out of 4 in the Champions League. They're top of the Premier League. They're not conceding any shots, not conceding any goals. They're winning football matches. They've got different goal scorers. They've got loads of injuries. Yeah. Well, what more do you want?
Also, like, this whole debate about them being boring. I've actually heard, it's a debate that's been
I think that debate's boring.
Well, also, it's completely irrelevant because football isn't supposed to be entertaining.
Exactly.
The point of football matches is to win. The point of winning football matches is to win silverware. That in itself is the entertainment. You don't need to be entertained. If you want to be entertained, go down to cinema and go watch a Marvel film. Like if that's what you want, like genuine entertainment. Entertaining football is winning football. I guarantee you. Like people would be quite snide about Jose Mourinho at Chelsea. Firstly, it wasn't true. Some of the most pulsating teams I've ever seen was Joe Cole, Damien Duff, Frank Lampard come through the middle, Arjen Robben, Didier Drogba. Really was beautiful football, incisive and aggressive football. But equally, we were winning everything. We got 95 points. I guarantee you I was never bored.
Exactly. When you conceded 15 goals, were Chelsea boring?
95. We hit 95 points and conceded 15 goals.
Exactly.
And won 2 trophies. 2 out of 3 domestic trophies. I guarantee
and Arsenal, with the way they're defending, and how little goals they're conceding, they're on track to do something crazy like that. They are. If they keep going at this rate, you're going to be talking about that.
This is though where I think we go a bit extreme. They're on course for it now.
Yeah.
But just to point something out.
Yeah.
Like so they've conceded 3 goals after 9 games, something like that, and 3 goals after 10 games. Very impressive and on course for what Chelsea did. But just to demonstrate this, right? In 2014, the Southampton team, Mauricio Pochettino's Southampton team. Remember that side? It was a side of like Jose Font, Luke Shaw,
Snyderlin,
Wanyama, absolutely. Who's the centre half? Yoshida, centre half, and Nathaniel Klein.
Yeah.
Right, that team conceded 3 goals after 10 games. Pochettino, Southampton conceded 3 goals after 10 games. Now, obviously, I'm not drawing a parallel.
It sounds like you are.
I'm not drawing a parallel between Arsenal and Southampton.
It sounds like exactly what you're doing. Otherwise, you wouldn't even talk about Southampton.
I'm using it as a way to demonstrate that teams can have a real purple patch, but doing it over the course of a season
Arsenal's
is very
defense
different.
Has been this good for a long time. It has.
It's been good for a long time. Yeah,
it's been good for a long time. They've had Saliba and Gabriel doing amazing stuff. Miles Lewis-Skelly last year, this year Calafiori. Timber's been a revelation, unbelievable. David Raya was excellent last year, excellent now. Like, it's not like, I didn't realise Arsenal's defence is this good now. No, they've been good. It's not. This ain't a Southampton thing where they just got a lucky start and it's all going to come crumbling down. It doesn't feel like that. City and Liverpool fans, though, if you don't win this Sunday, are your title challenges over? And Arsenal fans, win at Sunderland, then this game is a draw. Would that be it for you? Is the title coming back to North London for the first time in, 24 years, something like that? We want to know. 03717 22 3344. Friday. Happy Friday. Yes, Thank Football. It's Friday with myself, Flex, and Rory Jennings. We're going to be with you up until 10 p.m. tonight before we hand over to the sports bar. I've had a chat with Jamie O'Hara as well ahead of the game. Check that out. We've done a little piece on there. He's been giving it as usual. Not like him to give it. I want to see one of the biggest have we seens from Cundy come up after that. And that's what I need to be seeing.
Really?
Full clown outfit, everything.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's what I need. Right, this Saturday, the WBC interim £154 title is on the line in Texas as undefeated KO machine Virgil Ortiz Jr. faces off with a counter-punching technician Erickson Lubin, and watch live this Saturday only on DAZN. Across back to the football now. Not Manchester United, Manchester City are taking on Liverpool in an absolutely massive game at the top end of the Premier League, especially for all three teams, but especially those two teams that got aspirations of winning the league. From a Liverpool perspective, Rory, they've had a blip. They had a real bad blip. You know, they was on a real bad run of form until they beat Villa and obviously beat Real Madrid as well, which was a fantastic performance from them. Is this the game for Liverpool where if they can go and beat Man City, they can say they're truly back now? Their season's well and truly back to where it was. Because obviously it was a moment of a blip. They've started well. They won 5 out of 5 for the first thing, but the next 5 were really bad. If they beat City, are they back?
Just to ask, are they not back already? Does beating Real Madrid not bring you back? You're beating the biggest club in the world in very tricky circumstances.
I would say. Do you know why I would say no? Because the Premier League is a different thing. I think that they need to put a run together. They need to get back-to-back wins in the Premier League to be saying we're back.
Yeah, okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Okay,
because they went and beat Eintracht Frankfurt 5-1.
I would.
And they're not Real Madrid, but they thought they were back, and then they played Keith Andrews on the weekend.
No, fair enough. Look, I would have argued that beating Aston Villa and Real Madrid in close succession is a definition of being back. But let's go with your definition. So you think they need another win? They need back-to-back.
I think so, because if they go and lose this game, especially if Arsenal win, mate, they're they're worse off than they were before when they beat Real Madrid. So I don't think I think that is one thing to get confidence. Definitely, they were excellent against Real Madrid. But I think they need to back that up with a massive statement win against Manchester City. And actually, let's speak to a Liverpool fan, Scott, who will know more than what Liverpool need to do than what we do. Scott, massive game on Sunday. Do you agree with the sentiment that you have to win this game to make a statement? You know, Arsenal showing no signs of slowing down.
How you doing? Yeah, come Sunday, I think we need to win the game. However, you've got to look at what he's done Slot, and I think you've got to take a lot off, take your hat off to the guy. He's realised the situation. We've had all the problems with Diego and the new players that have come in, all the players that have come in. What he's done though is he's realised that it's not working, and he's reverted back to what we were. And now he's going to start bringing in players a little bit at a time, because I think he was trying to make too many changes at once for a great team that was already there. Robertson's come back. Look at him now playing. He's brilliant. You've got outstanding the other day at Real Madrid, but Man City on Sunday, we'll see where we're at, depending on what sort of team he puts out there. That's one point I would like to make. The other point was I was just wondering to Rory when he says Pep's the second greatest manager to grace our shores. Is that just in the Premiership? Is it?
Yeah, I'd say if we're comparing managers that have done the business in the Premier League era, I think that there's only one winner.
Is he going to bring Klopp in there?
Right, because I wasn't going to say Klopp. I was going to go back. I was going to go back a little bit further to Bob Paisley. I mean,
absolutely,
was an absolute legend. I mean, what that guy done, and the foresight he had, the difference between him and in the Premier League, I thought you've got to start bringing players like that into the players' role. That's my thought anyway.
I think just for the record, I think that you're completely correct, and I hate. And despite the fact that I conform to it, I hate this kind of arbitrary Premier League era that we adopt.
Yeah, like football only started.
Yeah, I don't know why we do it. I don't know why when we talk about Haaland breaking records, I don't know why that we don't compare Haaland's records to Dixie Dean. Yeah. I don't know why we call Arsenal the only invincibles when Preston have already done it.
It's because when we're talking about it, like obviously most of us didn't live and breathe it, and it's very difficult to talk about that with real chest when you didn't experience. Scott, just while we still got you, just what you thought about the initial reasons as to why Liverpool struggled. You know, do you think that the transfer window they had, which was really aggressive, really strong from a position of power, was it too much and trying to bed in too many players?
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of people have said it. It's just not the. If you look at us for years, we just haven't done it. We get that one player in or two players in that just make a difference. Klopp was great at it. All the other managers that we've had were great. But for some reason, I don't know whether Slot had anything to do with that. We're bringing all these players in, but it was like we're getting these marquee signings, which, by the way, I think they'll come good. I reckon Isak and Wirtz will come good. I reckon you can see a little bit of them gelling here and there. I think it will come good, but at the moment, you just got to revert back to. He's gone
back to the old guard, hasn't he?
What I like about Arnie is that he's gone back to the old guard and it's working.
Yeah,
and
he's got to stick with it.
And what he might do now is bring in, like Kirkes, he's a bit too much at the moment. He needs to calm down a little bit. Frimpong, he played well when he played on the wing. I know he doesn't bring off Mo, but there you go. It proves Mo's a proven goal scorer. He's just that he might not play well, but he'll just get that impact goal that you need at the time. But yeah, I just think we just need to ease these players a little bit. Isak's back playing now, so
yeah, you got to be patient with it. But you do need a massive result. Scott, really appreciate the call, mate. Good luck on Sunday. Let's go to Gary, an Arsenal fan who's going to be looking in with keen eyes after hopefully his team have the 3 points in the bag at the Stadium of Light, and then all the pressure is on the other two. Gary, you must be praying for a draw here? He's just dropped off. He's too nervous. He's too nervous. He's so close to that title. He's dropped off. He's missed his moment.
Yeah, I think you're right, though.
What do you think Arsenal fans...
To answer it from an Arsenal perspective, what they will be saying is they hope it's a draw. But if I was an Arsenal fan, what I'd say is don't even think about it. It's got nothing to do with you. It's literally got nothing to do with you. Your entire life should revolve around for the next 48 hours or so.
Go and be 10 and 9 points clear, respectively.
Yeah, just go and beat Sunderland. That's all you need to worry about. All you need to do is beat Sunderland, and then on the weekend, you can relax. You can have a cigar, you can enjoy your weekend, and maybe catch the result, maybe watch the game, maybe don't. If you've beaten Sunderland, though, everything is rosy with your weekend. You lose to Sunderland, then you've got to start watching it thinking, maybe we need someone to drop points.
Yeah, Arsenal, as long as they win their game, they're going to be winners of the weekend.
Exactly.
Because the two that are chasing them are playing.
Somebody drops points.
Something's going to happen, and the best case scenario probably is a draw. And listen, I think I think for Liverpool, I do think it's not win or bust, but I do think it's a really, really important game for them too. And we do have Gary back on the line. Gary, we were just sort of saying that maybe as an Arsenal fan, you're probably wanting a draw, but Rory sort of says, listen, don't worry about what City or Liverpool do. Just go and beat Sunderland and enjoy your weekend.
Oh, God, Rory, what can I say, mate?
Well, you can say anything you like.
Couple of Fridays now, I've listened to this. Look, I know you support Chelsea, mate, and you know what? I feel sorry for you. But look, the reality is we are playing football that's going to win us leagues, titles, and everything else.
Why is that? Why is that? Because you're not conceding goals? Because you're winning many games? No one's having shots? What is it you're saying?
But this is the whole issue. Like, no matter how we play, if we play expansive, attacking football, we're bad. We win football the old school way with good defending. Everyone's bored of it. We had hit set pieces. Oh my God, set pieces. It's like I'm so tired of this whole.
But you're making arguments here that aren't accurate or true. You're saying, oh yeah, boring football. Everyone says we're boring and hates it. Have you listened to the show? Flex and I have both just said how brilliant it is that you're doing that.
Brilliant.
I'm actually for the first time, Flex, I'm actually gonna be on your side, even though you're a United fan. Sorry to say, but you're actually speaking actual sense tonight. But Rory, your whole thing about they're never gonna beat the Chelsea goals conceded thing and this and that. I can guarantee, guys. We'll put a bet on right now.
Go on. What are you guaranteeing? What are you guaranteeing? Talk to us.
We will beat the 15 goals or whatever it was that Chelsea did. Right.
Right.
Oh, I heard that's Rory.
God. That was me. And I think you're going to win it.
Gary, what have I done to you? Why are you on my case? I'm sitting here. I'm an innocent bystander. Flex scoffed that your ridiculous statement, and you fired shots at me.
Rory, I watch you on Saturday Social, and you do the same thing. Well, you haven't been on there for a while, but anyway. Look,
you're not getting any work anymore, Rory.
No.
You're not getting the bookings.
I know the wolves at the door. I don't think I can take this bet with you, Gary.
Look, the reality is, guys, look, we are going to win the league, simple.
Yeah.
And I don't care if we have to win 1-0 every single week and David Villa scores from a corner. I honestly could not care.
Hey, Gary, help me understand this. You know when you called up and you went, look, you're a Chelsea fan, I feel sorry for you. Help me understand that one. I think that's an interesting angle. Why would an Arsenal fan who hasn't seen his team win a league title for 22 years and has literally never seen his team win a European Cup, why would an Arsenal fan, in that circumstance, feel sorry for a Chelsea fan who's very recently seen his team win both the league and 2 European Cups?
Because you guys want to talk about Arsenal 24 hours a day.
Or just for the Arsenal segment of the show.
You guys love talking about Arsenal doing this and doing that and not doing this and not doing that. Look, in what is it going to be 6 months from now? We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see. But let's face it, history's taught us over the last 22 years, history has taught us that even when you get yourself in privileged situations, you end up bottling it and totally snatching defeat from the jaws of victory.
Cool. Yeah, maybe that's the case. But you know what? First-time caller, and I'll be honest with you, this time is different.
Gary, can I ask you a question? Because I heard some Arsenal fans say it the other day or the other week. Are you the best team in the world? Like, no, that's what there was. No, someone was saying that, Rory. Someone saying that. Are you the best team in Europe? Like, are teams scared to face you, and you're not scared to face anyone? Is our Arsenal the best team in Europe?
We are not the best team in the world. I'm not going to say that.
Okay.
But I would say for the first time, to Rory's point, in 10 years, we are probably in a place where I would say even Bayern Munich for the next Champions League game.
Yeah, big game.
I'm thinking, actually, you know what? This is a different game. This is a different level. So if class that as best, not best, but you know what? For me, that will do. When people are actually worried to come to play us because they know the way that we set up, and I tell you that, like, we've got some players right now that I'm just like,
okay, Gary, just before you go, right? Gary, how many trophies do Arsenal win this season?
How many?
Yeah.
2.
It's more likely that Arsenal win none than 2.
Okay, cool. Mate, let's get the producers to put in their diary for a call.
Okay, you call back then. You're giving it a bigger, today. Gary's seen a couple of clean sheets and he calls up and he gives it a bigger. First time caller because he's seen his team not concede a goal for a few weeks.
He wasn't calling before.
Didn't call. Yeah. Where were you calling? When were you calling when you had Torreira running the midfield, mate? Didn't speak to you then, did I? I didn't speak to you. Yeah, when Marouane Chamakh was up front, you were under a rock then, keeping yourself to yourself.
Bring back Chamakh and Bentner. I don't mind right now.
Gary,
even now would still be winning 1-0 because Gabriel will be there.
Gabriel, listen, Gary, top stuff, mate.
Cheers, mate.
I hope that you get all what you wish for and break Rory's.
I hope you get none of it. I hope you get literally nothing and absolutely everything that you wish for. I hope it turns.
Oh my gosh! Right, remember it is Game Day Live with Sam Matterface, Lucy Ward, and Perry Groves on talkSPORT. That is on Sunday with all the goals as they go in from the Premier League, where he'll be based up at the Etihad for Manchester City versus Liverpool. And over on talkSPORT 2, Bristol City have equalised at Watford through Scott Twine. A free kick. Keeper should have done way better. It's 1-1. But next we'll be looking ahead to tomorrow night's exclusive commentary here on talkSPORT as Chelsea hosts Wolves.
football at full pelt, live on talkSPORT.
It's headed towards João Pedro! And he glances the ball past a stranded goalkeeper who was absolutely nowhere.
Larsson near post, drives it into the goal. Fantastic! What a finish from Jürgen Strand Larsson.
On talkSPORT, the Premier League is back in session, and what a way to kick off the new campaign.
Another massive week of Premier League football, Premier League action. Myself and Rory Jennings will be with you up until 10 p.m. This is Thank Football. It's Friday. Time to turn our attentions to Chelsea and Rory's beloved team. They take on managerless Wolverhampton Wanderers at the Bridge. It should be a foregone conclusion, Rory, shouldn't it?
I mean, if
they've got a manager,
if
rock bottom of the league.
If anything should
They've
be,
won a game all year.
Yeah, I mean, it just has to be a win, doesn't it?
I know it's lost against Sunderland, but they're a different beast compared to Wolves.
Yeah, it's incomparable.
Yeah.
Like we've been very lucky with fixtures. You know, if you think about some of the fixtures that Chelsea have won this season, we've beaten Nottingham Forest, they've sacked their manager. We've beaten West Ham, they've sacked their manager. Like we've been very fortunate. And now we're playing Wolverhampton Wanderers
with no manager
at probably the best possible time.
Yeah,
you know, they haven't yet got the new manager bounce in. They haven't yet brought in the man who's going to take the reins. So they're going to be going into this one, hopefully clueless. Like, I can't really see any jeopardy about the result.
And is that
which almost definitely means that this has got a 1-1 draw all over.
If that happens, I'll definitely be messaging you.
Yeah.
Does that also take into account what Maresca does with the squad? Because you know he does make quite a lot of changes, a bit of rotation, and he does like to mix things up a bit. But regardless of who you put on that pitch, I know it's the Premier League, not to disrespect Wolves, but with the embarrassment of riches that you've got, you should be winning.
There is absolutely no way that Chelsea can do anything other than win this game and win this game convincingly. Like they get beaten like they've lost to Burnley at home.
Yeah.
Like that's how bad Wolves are. You know, like Fulham put 3 past them, didn't they?
Yeah.
Like this isn't a contest. Wolverhampton Wanderers are the only team that are clearly going down. They're the only team that we can say 100% they are going down. Now we can have a debate about the other two. And we are playing them at the perfect time. You know, they haven't had a chance to get a new manager in. They haven't had a chance to give that manager some time. They haven't had a chance to dip into their pockets potentially in the transfer window. This is another dream fixture for Enzo Maresca, and the timing of it is spot on.
Well,
Chelsea need to come out of this totally unscathed.
Well, Enzo Maresca's decision to make 7 changes to his sides during Wednesday's draw at Karabakh was criticised by Wayne Rooney, and today the Chelsea boss defended his decision.
I said already many times, we are in a moment, in an era where anyone can say what they want. It's correct. I completely respect. I played for 20 years. It was not so physical. Now change. So you need to rotate. This is my personal view, and I think you need to do that if you want to see a season like a marathon. Then when you are in February, when you are in March, that is the last sprint, probably you have to think in different way. But at the moment, I think you have to think like a long race.
Chelsea boss Enzo Maresca defending his decision there to make 7 changes midweek against Karabakh, which led to a 2-2 draw. Listen, I'll be honest, I tend to agree with him in terms of the management of Chelsea's squad. Now, I know you do have a big squad, but you do have a lot of injuries. You do have injuries to key players, and you are coming off the back of, you know, the Club World Cup, which, you know, a lot of players had to keep playing through. I don't think it's the end of the world to be rotating. Maybe 7 changes might have been a bit too much, but his sentiment of, look, there's games coming thick and fast, and there's injuries to big players, and also there's players like Reece James where you know what's going to happen if you play him too long. Lavia keeps getting injured as well. Palmer's out.
But he played James. I agree with you, right? But there is also a responsibility of a manager. You're talking about the things that are secondary to the actual point of a manager. You're talking about rotating the squad, making sure the players are happy, making sure that players are getting game time.
Trying to find solutions.
Yeah, you're talking about all of that. Whereas the primary objective of a manager, the point of the purpose of your job, the reason that you are employed, is to find a way to win games of football. And I'm sorry, it is outrageous that he thinks it's acceptable to go into a game in the Champions League away from home with a centre-half partnership of Jarrell Hato and Tosin Adarabioyo. Like, you're always going to concede goals. Like, you are always going to concede goals if you have those two playing together at centre-half. So I don't think that it's acceptable what he did. I don't think it's acceptable to have Tyreek George leading the line. I don't think it's acceptable to marry it all up together. You've got one new and one very weak centre-half on the pitch. You've got a centre-forward who we were trying to flog to Fulham over the summer.
But Fofana with his with his injury record. You're trying to protect him. Josh Achimpong.
Yeah, but he's a kid.
Young. That's what I'm saying.
Achimpong should be playing. He's our best centre half.
Better than Trevor Chalobah.
The problem is, the problem really, it all stems back to the recruitment. It all stems back to the fact that we got Tosin Adarabioyo from Fulham for free.
Yeah.
Who is clearly not good enough.
No, he's not.
He's clearly not good enough. He's not a Premier League defender. Like, I don't mean that with any, and I wish him well, but he's just not a Premier League defender. So I think that there are problems, and you're being quite generous to Enzo Maresca here because you
think he's making too many changes?
He's making
considering what you've got and who the best person for the job is, as in the players.
Your primary objective is to win games of football. Like, I don't think there's any real jeopardy about Chelsea qualifying through this Champions League. I think we will make it.
Yeah.
But we've got some very difficult figures. We played Barcelona, so
and he won't be messing about with the team for that.
No. Whereas maybe,
and he didn't
maybe
lose.
You beat Karabag. You beat Karabag.
Let's get them 3 points in the bag.
Get those 3 points secured, and then maybe once it's clear that you're going to progress, then if you lose to Barcelona, you rest players. Maybe it's not so significant.
How much this goes as an understatement, but how much do they need to stabilise? They're rock bottom of the league. Do you think they can stay in this division if they get this appointment right? It is early enough, but it's a big ask in it for whoever takes that job, and it looks like it could be Rob Edwards. Yeah, is that done? Don't even talk about it.
Yeah,
impossible.
Sorry, I'm trying to think of a no.
You're asking me about
no, that wasn't particularly good radio because all I did was pull facial expressions at you. Like I couldn't even find any words. I was giving you nothing but punctuation.
Yeah.
I don't think that they can survive, and I certainly don't think Rob Edwards is a man to keep them up. Like, what on earth has Rob Edwards done in his Premier League career to make anyone think that he is capable of finding a way to keep a woeful Wolves team in the Premier League?
Yeah.
Like, if you were to go, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to do something, and I'm going to appoint someone who's got a proven track record. Like, probably not this, but I heard Sam Allardyce talking on talkSPORT the other day, and he said, look, he's not exactly waiting for a phone call.
Listen, this is the thing. Daichi was in here on talkSPORT. Martin O'Neill was in on talkSPORT. They get back in the job.
Sam Allardyce could do it. I don't think he could. I don't think he would.
Yeah.
But Sam Allardyce, I think he's out of that part. He's from the Black Country, isn't he, Sam Allardyce?
I think so, yeah.
So it's very unlikely that he could keep them up.
Get Ange Postecoglou.
Ange Postecoglou, if you want to go down, guaranteed.
Eric Ten Hag.
No, Ten Hag would be a good appointment, I think.
Yeah, but I think he's going to go back to Ajax.
Ten Hag would be a good appointment.
Yeah, Brendan Rodgers.
What we know about Rob Edwards is that he will take you down. You might as well find...
Yeah, but that was a Luton squad, shouldn't have really come up. Is that a bit harsh? He's a good coach. He's doing well at Middlesbrough now.
Look at what happened after that, though.
Yeah, it was terrible.
Look what happened
back to back. Yeah.
No, I think Rob Edwards... The only justification is, do you think that they're potentially thinking about go down with Rob Edwards and then keep him and come back?
But then he may as well stay at Middlesbrough. He's got every chance of doing that. It's tough. It really is tough out there. But Chelsea versus Wolves, that's going to be live on talkSPORT. I think we're all expecting a Chelsea win with that one. Next, it's everyone's favourite feature, Too Good, Too Bad.
in the ring to win on talkSPORT.
We've got a brand new prize up for grabs, and it's a knockout. We're giving you the chance to win 2 tickets to the highly anticipated rematch between Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium on Saturday the 15th of November. The prize includes a one-night stay at a 5-star hotel in London, plus £5,000 spending money to make it an unforgettable weekend. Listen up, and here's how to enter.
18 plus, UK excluding Northern Ireland. For a chance to win, text the word BOX to 83338 and you're in the draw. Text costs £2 plus 1 standard network rate message. You must have the bill payer's permission, or you can enter for free by calling 0330 880 3338. All entries must be received by the 13th of November at 1 p.m. and you need to answer our call to win. This is a talkSPORT limited promotion. Full terms and conditions at talksport.com.
And don't forget that talkSPORT will bring you live commentary of the fight next Saturday evening, where you will also be able to watch along with the team over on talkSPORT Boxing YouTube channel. That's Chris Eubank Jr., should I say, versus Conor Benn, live next Saturday on talkSPORT, or watch on DAZN. But now it's time for this.
Too good? Todd Bowley has become our sporting director. The man's never worked in European football before. So the fact that he's now in charge of this recruitment drive fills me a little bit with fear. Too bad. Going out and signing with Charlison, it's huge, isn't it? He will certainly score goals for them.
This is Too Good, Too Bad, where me and Rory Jennings take it in turns to pick out one player we're looking forward to see playing this weekend and one who needs a big performance. Rory, let's start on the lighter side. Who are you looking forward to seeing play this weekend? Who can't you wait to watch?
It's for a very interesting reason, in my opinion.
Go on.
Florian Wirtz. Florian Wirtz started to find a bit of rhythm, looked decent against Real Madrid, playing in a more familiar role. They've reverted back to the old shape, and they've just swapped him in.
Yeah, he's coming off the left. I mean, it's weird because ideally, if everything was going right, I think you'd want to just have Wirtz as your 10 and just say, you're just off Isak. Isak's firing, he's making loads of runs. You just keep slotting him in, get on the ball in the half spaces, do your thing, Wirtz. But like you said, they've had to go back to Szoboszlai, McAllister and Gravenberch. Go back to tried and tested.
Exactly.
So you got to try and find a way for Wirtz to play off the left, and you think this is the one.
Yeah, I think so. Well, do you know?
Or you're looking forward to seeing it.
Do you know what it is? Under normal circumstances, I would have said to you, he can take time to bed in. He's a new player. He's a young player. He's coming from a foreign league. He's moved to a foreign country. He's learning a new language. We need to be really patient with Florian Wirtz. But the rules have changed because Liverpool at one point were at least on the precipice of a disaster.
Yeah.
They were bordering on, if they weren't in, a crisis. And when that happens, it's all hands on deck. So from me being very patient, I'm now saying to Florian Wirtz, mate, you're a record transfer signing. You're worth 100 million quid. Can you go and perform?
Go and do something.
And he started to show just a glimmer of the player that we know he can be. So it's going to be very interesting because it would be the perfect stage for him to announce to the world that his Premier League career is ignited.
Yeah.
Remember, there was talk linking him. At one point, he was going to be seen as the inventor of Pep Guardiola 4.0. So big moment for him. What about you? Who have you got an eye on?
I agree. I'm going in-house with Manchester United, but I'm going Bryan Mbeumo. I'm going Bryan Mbeumo at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium against Spurs because he's just won the Player of the Month award. And I think if we're going to have a statement win against a team that we really owe one to, I think he's going to be integral to it down that right-hand side. He's been absolutely brilliant for Man United. He's been a breath of fresh air. I don't think a lot of people want to talk about it as much as they probably should because it's Man United, because we had a bad start to the season, because, Man United got a bad track record recently of signing players. For me, it's going under the radar. I mean, I was reading some reports from the Athletic saying that, Benjamin Sesko's the worst signing of the summer and Cunha hasn't scored enough and this, that, and, all the usual stuff you read. But I think people aren't talking glowingly enough about how good Bryan Mbeumo's actually been, and I'm glad he's won.
He has been the signing of the summer.
I think he's up there, yeah. I do think he's up there in terms of pound for pound, in terms of instant impact, in terms of output. I think he's up there because when you look at people like Isak, when you look at people like Wirtz, who we're talking, when you look at Kirkes, when you look at you look at Ryan Shirky, he's been injured. Reinders started all right, but then's faded. Ait Nouri's been injured. He's right up there. Kudus has done well, to be fair. Paulinho's done okay. But I think Bryan Mbeumo's right up there, mate.
Yeah, I agree.
And Gyökeres has got some goals, but there's still some talk that, it's still waiting for him to explode onto the scene.
I think you're right. Brian
Mbeumo's right up there.
Undoubtedly been one of the best signings of the season.
Definitely.
No.
What about who needs a performance? What are we saying?
I'll tell you who needs to have a good game. He probably will. He usually does. But I'll tell you who needs to have a good game. Declan Rice needs to have a good game. It's going to be an intense.
Why does he need it? Like, because he hasn't been playing well already?
If Arsenal were to win... No, absolutely not. No.
Yeah.
He's a top-class player.
Against Sunderland, why does he need...
Because it's going to be an intense affair. They're up against Granit Xhaka. Sunderland are a good side. They're a professional side. And if Arsenal were to win up at Stadium of Light, which they probably will, but the game will be won and lost in the midfield. And Granit Xhaka... Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, we won and lost in the box.
No, I think...
Pieces.
No, but Sunderland can be very good at that as well. Sunderland are an efficient team. Go into the Stadium of Light in November for a night game. This is the kind of fixture where a player like Declan Rice is going to have to take the game, drag his team to victory. This isn't going to be a walk in the park for Arsenal. Arsenal have made light work of most teams that they've come up against this season. This is, if you're a Man City fan, you're dreaming of winning the league. If you're a Liverpool fan, you're dreaming of winning the league. If you're a Chelsea fan or a Tottenham fan, dreaming of Arsenal not winning the league. This is the fixture that you're looking at going...
Really?
Maybe. Yeah, I think so. I think it's a banana skin fixture. You don't see it that way at all, do you?
Rory, Sunderland ain't doing nothing.
Do you not think this is the way that it is? Arsenal are more likely to win this game than lose it. They're more likely to win it than draw it because Arsenal are the best team in the country at the moment.
Yeah.
But if Arsenal are to concede a goal, if Arsenal, like this run that they're on is going to come to an end at some point, away from home for the night fixture at the Stadium of Light is a very difficult fixture.
No
to
disrespect.
go wrong for them.
Declan Rice ain't going to the Stadium of Light thinking, oh my God, I'm playing against Xhaka. He's not. Arsenal, Mikel Arteta isn't even thinking that. The Arsenal side is not what's his name? Like Eze Rice and
You don't see this as a problem fixture for Arsenal. I see.
Don't get me wrong.
As one of the most problematic. You know when you list your most tricky away fixtures. Sunderland, in the form that they're in, going to the Stadium of Light in November for a night game. This has to be one of the trickier fixtures.
Yeah, I see where you go. I just can't see it. My player that I think needs a performance is Virgil van Dijk. Virgil van Dijk, because he's given a bit back to Wayne Rooney, didn't like the criticism, showed he was rattled by it. All the Liverpool fans giving it the whole, Rooney couldn't look Van Dijk in his eyes, put him in his place, all of that's cute. But now you're about to play against Haaland. You're about to play against Haaland, who is in the mood. He's the top scorer of the Premier League by a mile at the minute. He's banging them in. You need now to have a good game.
Van Dijk needs a performance.
Yes, and he hasn't been playing well this season.
What about this then? What about, rather than who needs it, what about your prediction? That game, that fixture, massive fixture, will probably be won and lost based upon who wins the battle between Erling Haaland and Virgil van Dijk. Is that fair? If Man City
between Konate, Van Dijk and Haaland, they need to lock him up, which they've proved they've done before. But Haaland in this type of mood, first season Haaland, different beast. So Virgil van Dijk needs to have one. Captain, leader, do you know what I mean? Goat of the Premier League, best centre-back we've ever seen in our lives, we've been told many times. Yeah? Well, make sure Haaland doesn't do anything. That's what I need to see. Right, the second half of Watford is 1-1. Watford-Bristol, that is 1-1, is about to get underway on talkSPORT 2. But next up, we'll be looking ahead to this weekend's other Premier League games as well.
Tyson Fury, Floyd Mayweather, Canelo Alvarez. Just hearing these names makes you think money and the hundreds of millions of dollars, pounds or Saudi riyals in boxing. But that's at the top. At the bottom, it isn't quite the same. Even for those on the rise, there's not an awful lot of cash in the boxing world. And if you're just starting out, well, it can be a very costly exercise indeed. But don't take my word for it. Here's the former European champion, talkSPORT's Spencer Oliver.
You're turning professional and you're boxing, let's say, York Hall on a non-televised fight. You have to sell tickets to earn any money, but you have to cover the wages of your opponent as well. So if you don't have the ability to be able to sell enough tickets, you effectively have to pay to fight.
A far cry then from Jake Paul facing Mike Tyson in 2024, when the purse was reported to be around £48 million. But the vast amounts of cash lining the top dog's pockets isn't the norm in a typical fight.
Let's say you're lucky and you get between 5 and 10 grand. You're going to get 10 grand max for that. 10% goes to the trainer, 25% goes to the manager. Then we've got the tax man to pay as well. So we're cutting that money in at least half. So now you've got 5 grand for a 10-week camp. So you're talking about a guy here earning, he might be clearing 500 quid a week. How do you support a family on that? So boxers chase the dream. And, you know, there's probably 2% of them that actually make it.
So say you do make it and you start to rise up the ranks. Strikers Boxing, a training academy, says the mid-tier fighters can earn more, somewhere between £10,000 and £50,000 a fight, depending on record, profile, opponent and popularity of weight class. It's only at the top level does the real cash start flowing in, with the top-tier professionals, i.e. those going for titles, earning 6 figures a fight. Something else you'll have heard of is the terms prize fighter or journeyman. A prize fighter is, as it sounds, someone who picks up fights where they can and gets a nice big check if they win. Journeymen are the fighters who take on up-and-comers, effectively used for experience in the ring. Even if they're going up against the real prospects, a young Anthony Joshua, for example, these guys will be lucky to earn more than 10 grand. So the average boxer isn't as rich as you'd think.
Premier League football, just the way we like it on talkSPORT. Isidore trying to spin and turn into the area. He's done just that, and he's found the net.
Saka again through the goalkeeper and in to seal the victory.
This is Premier League football at its best.
This is Fact Football. It's Friday. Me and Rory will be with you for another hour until we hand over to the sports bar. We've got loads coming up in the last hour. We're going to be previewing the rest of the games of the Premier League. Sunderland versus Arsenal, Villa versus Bournemouth, Brentford versus Newcastle United, and a huge game down the bottom as well. West Ham United taking on Burnley. We're also going to hear from Jamie Carragher, hear about the piece that he's written about football being in reverse as well, talking about the emergence of long throws and aerial balls and has football become boring, etc. And we've got a little bit of EFL as well to talk about. But to the Premier League, though, let's go through some of these games, Rory. We just spoke about it there before we broke on the other side, the Sunderland versus Arsenal game. You see this as a banana skin. I see this as a formality for Arsenal. I just think that they're too strong. I take your point. It is a tough atmosphere to go to. Stadium of Light, rocking, under the lights, 5:30. I give you all of that. But I just don't see a way that Arsenal don't prevail with 3 points.
I think that's probably the most likely outcome. But I also think that Arsenal are going to drop points. They're like no
at some point.
At some point.
Yeah, they will.
And this is the kind of fixture that I believe could
draw.
Yeah, of course. Sunderland are capable of finding a way to upset the Arsenal rhythm, to get under Arsenal's skin, to potentially go 1-0 up. And let's see how Arsenal Let's see how Arsenal react to that. Obviously, they don't go 1-0 down very often. So let's see what happens when Arsenal have their backs against the wall. Let's see what happens when Arsenal have the pressure on them. And it's going to be very interesting to see that, because what Arsenal have never done is, in the last 2 decades at least, is win a title race. They've almost always been the challenger as well. They've never ever been the front runner.
Yeah.
There is a real pressure that comes with, when you can hear hooves. You can hear hooves coming, galloping behind you. Say Arsenal are now, 6-7 points clear. Let's say they drop some points. Let's say they end up drawing. And then Liverpool put in a resounding win against Man City.
And then it's down to 5 points.
And then it's down to 5 points. Then obviously we come back off the international break, and Arsenal have some very tricky fixtures. They play Tottenham, Bayern Munich and Chelsea in a week. How do Arsenal deal with that? Now, I think the most likely outcome, annoyingly, will chime with what our very biased caller had to say earlier in the show, where he basically said that this Arsenal team are incredible. I don't know what I'm talking about, and Arsenal will win the league and another trophy and do it all of the above at a canter. What I think is more interesting and also more likely is that when the pressure is on, we have seen this Arsenal team struggle. Yeah. When the pressure is on, it's
the thing that they haven't shaken off, because they haven't done it yet. They haven't gone past that point to win. I get that,
and they're up against tried and tested.
Yeah, but they don't look as polished. Those two, they don't. No. I think when you look
Arsenal
at
are the best team in the country.
Exactly, Arsenal are the best team. I think that I think their own worst enemy is going to be them now. Before we used to say you need a striker. There's no replacement for Saka when he gets injured, or Saliba went out. I've got to play Kivior. Like, they've addressed that. Yep. They've addressed it. It's central midfield. Jorginho went. Obviously, they lost Thomas Partey as well. They've addressed it with real good quality. So I just think that now, and we've seen a taste of it early in the season. Injuries have hit. Odegaard gone. Saka gone. Saliba was injured for a little bit. Madueke was playing out of his skin, injured. Kai Havertz injured. Jesus only just back. And now Gyökeres injured. Like, we've seen it, and now they're just getting that management right of all these different players and filling in all the injured players with quality, and the mentality that is seeping through them.
But Fliz, there will be twists and turns to come. There will be moments.
I just don't think it'll be Saturday.
Look, do you know
Saturday,
what you can't
5:30.
You know when Liverpool ultimately started this run that they went on that was really poor form when they lost at Selhurst Park.
Yeah.
If we had sat here on the Friday night and I've gone, I tell you what, they're going to lose at Selhurst Park.
Nah, mad.
You'd seen them win 5 games in a row. They were champions. They'd signed all the players, and it was going to be their season again. If I went to you, they're going to lose at Selhurst Park, you would have said that's ridiculous.
But you know what? I wouldn't have. But you know why? Because this is the difference, Rory, and this is what I mean. The way that Liverpool win in their first 5 games, you could see some defeats coming. They were winning in the last minute. They were winning some games they probably didn't deserve to win. When I look at Arsenal, from playing against Manchester United, which that's probably the only game that they've got out of with, well, I think you're a bit fortunate there, but they did. All the other games, I look at them, I go, fair game. And they lost against Liverpool, which essentially was a 0-0 game. Moment of brilliance from Szoboszlai. They got a draw at home against City. Okay, a bit annoying, but all the other games, they deserve to win. They're looking comfortable in every single game. So I would have said to you, if you say to me now, Arsenal are going to lose the next 4 out of 5, that's where I would say absolutely not.
But we have almost never. There've been some examples. I think Sir Alex Ferguson had a couple of examples. There was the Jose Mourinho example. There was a season where Jurgen Klopp ran away with it. But generally speaking, nobody does what you're suggesting Arsenal are going to do. Generally speaking,
I'm not saying run away with it though. I'm just saying just keep.
But if you can't see them, they're already 7 points clear.
Yeah.
If you can't see them losing almost ever, that
no, I can. They're just not gonna. They're not gonna lose many football matches. They are gonna drop points. They won't lose many football matches. So I'm gonna go with Sunderland 0, Arsenal 2. Easy for me.
Okay.
It will end up being easy, but in the game, if you watch it, there'll be moments, huff and puff. Oh, that's close. There's a save from Raya, maybe. They might concede a couple shots on target in this game. There you go.
Okay.
What scoreline are you going with?
I think this is a 1-1. I think Arsenal are best team in the country, but I think that it's unsustainable what they're doing, and
it's unsustainable.
On some level, I don't even think a point away at Sunderland in the circumstances is a bad point anyway.
No, it's not. They can't keep winning every single game. Aston Villa against Bournemouth, Villa Park. I think Aston Villa have done really well to get themselves out of that hole they were in at the beginning of the season, sort of first 5 or 6 games. Couldn't buy a win. Then they went on a really good run, 4 on the bounce, and then they played Liverpool, in my opinion, in a really naive way. The first sort of half an hour of that game, they were really good. Morgan Rogers hitting the post, Matty Cash forcing a save from Mamardashvili that hit the crossbar. They were just looking, really strong, and then they just played into Liverpool's hands, playing out from the back all the time, inviting pressure on, and got undone. Bounce back with a win as well midweek against Maccabi Tel Aviv. But this is a difficult game against a really good Bournemouth side as well. They've been absolutely brilliant, Bournemouth, this year. They're fifth in the table, just below Sunderland, on 18 points, being level on points with Liverpool and Sunderland as it is right now. Who you got for that?
I always, when anybody asks me to predict a result involving Andone Iraola, I back Andone Iraola.
All the time.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter who they're playing. It doesn't matter the circumstance of the game. It doesn't matter whether Bournemouth are at home or away. It doesn't matter.
Really, you just always go with them.
If Andone Iraola is in the conversation, that's my guy. That's the guy.
All the time. Unai Emery at home, Villa.
I don't care.
They're on a good run.
I rate Emery, by the way. I rate Emery really.
Don't care.
I've had many arguments with Arsenal fans about how good Unai Emery is. I back Iraola against basically anyone. I think Andone Iraola is the absolute governor.
Yeah, and he's a very.
I think he's the governor. I think he is the next cab off the rank going to a top. Like Andone Iraola's next club could quite easily be Real Madrid.
Really?
He could go from Bournemouth to Real Madrid.
Yeah.
Like that is how brilliant. That is how good he is. That is how good
he is a very good manager.
I think he's one of the best managers in the world. I think. Do you know what?
Because of what he's doing at a club at the size of Bournemouth with the budget that they have.
Bournemouth are one of the most insignificant clubs to have ever played football in the Premier League.
Crazy.
Infrastructure-wise, they're at best the League One club, at best. And he has got them an established Premier League team. Look where they sold their players to last year. At the end of last season, they did really well last season. They lose 4 of the 5 in their back line, including their keeper, right? Look at the clubs. Look at the destination that he's sending players to. Kepa Arrizabalaga goes to Arsenal.
Yeah, and just to go and sit there.
Goes to Arsenal, right? They lose a player to Real Madrid. You mentioned. They lose a player to Liverpool.
Yeah,
they lose a player to Paris Saint-Germain.
Sabania, yeah.
And they get better.
Yeah. And then you look at the likes of Cliver and Krupi. Obviously Semenyo. Look what he's doing.
Semenyo on some definition is one of the best players.
Alex Scott's now in the England team,
and rightly so.
Yeah.
And I think it wouldn't even be difficult for me, pound for pound. You know the way the boxers look. We've got a huge fight coming up. If you want to talk pound for pound,
they're up there.
And Andone Iraola is the best manager in the league.
Pound for pound.
Pound for pound. remember when like Floyd Mayweather was best pound for pound? Pound for pound.
And he's the Mayweather of the league.
I back Andone Iraola against anyone.
Why do you do that? Because they don't win every single game.
I think he's amazing. I think
you can't just say they're going to win every single game.
Because he's the governor. I'm not going against Iraola ever. I'm not.
Only for Maresca.
He's better manager than Maresca by a mile. He's a far better.
If he was your manager,
if he was Chelsea manager,
do you think he'd win the league? Because you still need more. You still need more.
He has Chelsea as a serious unit. He gets performances out of players. What he'd do the unexpected. Like earlier in the show, and we're right. You know when we spoke about Tosin Adarabioyo, we said he's not really a Premier League player.
He'd get more out of him.
He'd have him off to Real Madrid. He'd turn Tosin out. He'd sprinkle stardust on Tosin Adarabioyo.
He wouldn't be off to Real Madrid. He wouldn't.
He would elevate players to a level that you.
Okay, so with that being said, I don't even think I need to ask you what your prediction is for this game.
Trust me, in any circumstance, if you ask me to predict anything involving Iraola, I always say Iraola.
Right, so what's the score going to be?
Iraola wins 2-0.
No, Bournemouth win 2-0.
Iraola will win. Iraola
wins. Not just him.
No, Villa are better than Bournemouth, but Iraola is better than Emery.
All right, okay. Newcastle can't buy a win in the Premier League at the minute, just off the back of losing against West Ham, but doing really well in the cup competitions. Brentford, with Keith Andrews, doing brilliantly. He was one of the, the hot favourites to go down, inexperienced. People didn't really give him much hope. Set piece coach coming in for his first senior job, but he's proven to be a really good manager as well.
Amazing what he's done.
It's not short of amazing. And talk about what they've lost. They've lost Brian and Brumo 20 goals. They've lost Wissa, basically 20 goals. They've lost Flecken. They've lost their captain Norgard. They've lost their manager.
And all the
unbelievable
around it. The only thing that stayed really was Andrews.
Which proves it's a great structure.
He's done. I was very, very cynical about this appointment. I just adopted the logic, and I think it's a fair logic to in my defence, I think it's a fair logic.
Yeah, it is.
If you take the 2 top goal scorers and the captain and the manager out of any team, if you did that out of Manchester United, if you did it out of if you did it to Pep Guardiola, the team are going to struggle.
Yeah.
Keith Andrews has done brilliantly. Newcastle all over the place.
All over the place. Quick score prediction for this.
I think Brentford win the game. I think Brentford win the game 2-0.
Yeah. I'm going to go 2-1 Brentford. I don't think Newcastle want to see them right now. After the break, there's still 4 more Premier League games to look ahead to.
What a day again in the Premier League, never ceases to disappoint. Header by Bowen! Oh, what a goal!
And he finds Anthony. Anthony on the charge, edge of the penalty here. Onto his right foot, fires the shot, deflected, and in! And it's 2-0 to Burnley.
What drama from the best league in the world.
It is the best league in the world. And this is Thank Football It's Friday with myself, Flex, and Rory Jennings. We're going to be with you for another about half an hour or so before we hand over to the boys on the sports bar to kick off your weekend. We've got 4 more Premier League games to get into. West Ham United against Burnley. West Ham with a massive win against Newcastle United last out. They've had a real torrid time. Couldn't buy a win for love nor money. Ended up sacking Graham Potter. Didn't start great with Nuno as well. Really poor, actually. Worrying times for West Ham. They do get an unlikely win against Newcastle United when they were absolutely abysmal. Newcastle United were. Can they build on this? Because, my God, they have to. Because if you're talking about trying to stay in this division, West Ham are currently in the bottom 3. And they face a Burnley side that have picked up a few points along the way, but they're only a place above them. You know, if you talk about the 6 pointers, these are the ones.
Yeah. On some definition now, this is West Ham United's most important game of the season.
Absolutely.
This,
without a doubt.
When we think about fixtures, we always think about the glamour ones, don't we? Yeah. When are you welcoming the champions? When are you welcoming Manchester United? Actually, the biggest game of the season.
When are the Clarets coming in?
Yeah, absolutely. do you know what? It reminded me of something. Last week, I saw a Fulham player, touting tickets on social media. He was like effectively imploring Fulham fans to come to the game. I think, Fulham were playing Wolves. Yeah, Fulham were playing Wolves, and they actually had. Who was
Sanderberg?
Yeah, it was Sanderberg. Yeah,
when you say touting, saying I'll give you some tickets,
he was like imploring.
I thought you meant like charges.
Oh no!
I got tickets. Cat
no, sorry. I've used misleading language there. No,
what?
not being
touting.
Not being
out on the King's Road. Saying, listen, there's a game going.
No, he was out on social media saying, "Come to this game." He was telling people to go and buy tickets, and I thought, gosh, this is so wrong. On some definition, Fulham playing Wolves at home is the most important game of the season. And now proper Fulham fans, right? Fulham fans who've been going to that club for donkey's years, they will recognise that as a really important fixture. Tourists won't. Tourists won't see that as a fixture. So pricing it at well over 70 quid is never going to appeal to anyone because the diehards who want to go can't really do that and the tourists are never going to want to go. You sometimes make a mistake when you don't see what your most important game of the season is.
Yeah.
And there is no doubt that when Fulham play Wolves, that's their most important game of the season. That's the kind of fixture that keeps you up or sends you down. And West Ham United playing Burnley in this circumstance,
They must win.
Yeah, well, West Ham fans will be looking forward to when they play Tottenham. They'll be looking forward to when they play Chelsea. They'll be hoping for a good cup run. The most important game of the season is this weekend.
But do you know what? I think they have the humility to understand that. I think that, being in the bottom three with the shocking start they've had to the season, changing managers so early, you have to beat Burnley. You're 3 points behind them. You can't afford to be 6. And do you know what? I think they will. I think they will.
But it goes both ways as well. If West Ham are to stay up, they need to win this game.
Yeah.
If Burnley are to stay up, say Burnley genuinely are going to make a...
They could draw on the road.
Yeah,
they could take a draw on there.
Do you know
a good result for them?
The problem is...
No?
The problem is, if you are to accrue the magical 40 points, right? Let's pretend that it's 40. I know it's probably
might be a little bit
shy
less.
of that now,
Yeah.
but when we were young, it was certainly 40-point mark, right? That's your first target of the season. If we just go with it being 40, Burnley are going to have to pick up some points on the road.
Yeah.
Somewhere you're going to have to get
against the
win.
teams that you're fighting to stay in with,
This is the more likely place to get a win than anywhere else.
Prediction.
I actually, Scott Parker going back to. I'm going for a draw.
Go for a draw. Okay.
Only get a point.
Okay, I'm going to go for a West Ham win, 2-1. This next game is equally as important. You talk about most important games on the calendar, etc., etc. For Nottingham Forest, whichever game they play is their most important game because they've had a shocking start to the season, just like West Ham. They're a place below West Ham. They're 19th in the league. No wins in the last 5. They got a draw last time out against Manchester United. They won their opening home game in the Champions League against Porto, which was good, but they got stuffed by your boy, Indone Iraola, who always wins. No shame in that. Yeah. But they are playing Leeds, mate. They are playing Leeds, and Leeds sits 16th. And my gosh, again, if Forest want to kickstart their season, this has to be a win.
This weekend is massive.
It's massive down the bottom and massive at the
top. This is
That's why the Premier League's the best league in the world.
Do you know what? This weekend is actually going to take shape. The Premier League table.
We're going to start.
We're going to see exactly what's going on. Like,
who's the pretenders?
Leeds United go to Nottingham Forest and win.
You're serious about staying in this division.
You're serious about staying.
And if Nottingham Forest, like you say, lose against Leeds, you're not serious.
You're not serious.
You have to start picking up. But if you win.
Yeah,
we can start to be like, we got a draw against Man United last time out.
Yeah.
You've got your first win.
Build him a bit of rhythm. You haven't lost for a while. Yeah. This is going to be a great
game. Massive
game.
I don't see how Forest don't win. I'll be honest. Against Leeds away.
Leeds United.
Leeds on the road.
This is the kind of fixture where Leeds United just need to find a win, don't they?
They do. They need to find something.
However it comes, they can't get beat. A win might be being a bit optimistic because they're not playing against Ange Postecoglou. They could have really done with this fixture coming a couple of weeks ago.
Prediction.
I think Leeds are going to get a win.
Do you?
Yeah, I do. They're all over the place, Forest.
Nah, they weren't bad.
They raised the game for Man United. They raised it.
Nah, more organised, man. They'll be alright against Leeds.
I think Leeds survive though, and if
they got too many good players.
I believe that Leeds. Do you think Leeds stay up?
No.
Okay, so that's why you think they lose this game. I think Leeds do stay up, which means that if they are going to stay up, they've got to find some points somewhere. Where better than a Nottingham Forest?
I think it'll be Wolves, Burnley and Leeds that go down.
That's why you're saying this. I think Leeds survive, and I want them to, really. If Leeds are going to survive, this is the kind of fixture that they're going to have to find a victory.
Everton against Fulham. Little bit of a...
Everton beat Fulham.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Everton sitting 14th, Fulham just below them. Battle of the teams again, 14th against 15th.
It's such
an even game.
It's such an even game.
I don't know.
But Everton at home will beat Fulham. They'll do something ugly late on in the game.
Yeah.
They'll nickel.
Jack Grealish getting an assist or something.
I mean, back in the day, it would always be like a corner in the 88th minute and Michael Keane gets his head on it.
Was it 1-0 Everton?
Yeah.
Yeah? 1-0 Everton. We'll go 1-0. We'll go 1-0 Everton. Palace Brighton. Derby.
Oh, yeah, they're weird.
They hate each other. We're always like,
Alan Mullery.
Alan Mullery.
Yeah. I'm going to go... there was a time, wasn't there, where whatever was going on, Palace used to get one over on them. Do you remember Zaha? Like, whatever happened in the game. This is a very difficult one to
It is?
I think
got 2-2
Palace win.
all over it.
I think Palace win.
Do you?
Yeah, Palace, bigger club, aren't they?
It doesn't matter about the size of the club.
Bigger club, better support,
Bigger
support.
Brighton are wicked.
It comes down to the support on a day like this.
What are we talking about?
It comes down to the support.
So you're talking about bigger clubs. When it's Iriola and Bournemouth, you're like, yeah, Iriola's a governor. Yeah, this, that.
He's beyond.
And then when you're talking about Brighton and Hove Albion, mate, they nearly went out of existence.
Palace.
Come on, man. Brighton are a top team.
Palace's support will just make sure it will urge their team to turn up again like this.
So now their support, that's what's going to make them win.
Yeah.
Not the Danny Welbeck who you've just been saying is so good.
No. Palace win this game, and they win it because their fans will demand it. Those Holmesdale fanatics won't allow them to not win the game.
All right, I'm going 2-2. I'm going 2-2 for this. I like this game. Yeah, I think two good teams going at it. Not much to split them. I'm going to say 2-2. You having that?
No, I don't think so. I think there's going to be a winner, but I am sticking with my prediction. Palace win the game.
Right, there you go. Right, over on talkSPORT 2, it's still Watford 1, Bristol City 1. And next here on talkSPORT, we're going to look ahead to the EFL this weekend. That's the tune. That's the tune, Rory, for your Friday night.
Yeah, I'm getting in the mood now.
Getting in the mood?
Are you
getting in the mood to go home and rest and go to sleep, or are you actually on anything?
Me?
Yeah.
Mate, all I really want to do is walk about my house in my pyjamas.
And slippers and have tea.
The last thing in the world I ever want to do is go somewhere where I can't hear myself think. So no, but... You know, I quite like the idea of it. Me out on the town, painting the town red.
Exactly.
Smashing it up in the West End.
Well, it's Christmas dude's coming up soon, so...
I'll be swerving them.
Gotta be ready.
Yeah.
Right.
I use this is when the one time that my kid gives me anything back, I use my children to get out of everything.
Sorry, can't do it.
Got kids.
Look after him.
Yeah, can't do it. I've got kids. Yeah, and then I just sit there and think, God, get me out of this.
This is Fact Football. It's Friday. I promise we're in good spirits. We're on good vibes. Looking ahead to the Premier League action. Right, the NFL makes its return to Germany this weekend, and Berlin will get its first ever taste of the action. talkSPORT 2 will bring you live commentary of Indianapolis Colts and the Atlanta Falcons on Sunday from the world-famous Olympic Stadium. talkSPORT 2 will bring you all the build-up and exclusive interviews from 2 p.m. with Will Varney, Will Gavin, and former NFL scout Ollie Connolly. You will also be able to see the team if you head over to talkSPORT USA YouTube channel, as they'll be hosting a live watch along from the stadium, as we turn our attentions now from the Premier League to the EFL and welcome in Justin Peach from the Second Tier podcast. He is the host there. Justin, how you doing, mate?
Yeah, really good. Thank you. How are you guys?
I'm all good. We need to get our teeth sunk into what's going on in the EFL. I think top of the list is what's going on with this Wolves jobs, because it looks like Rob Edwards could be on his way there.
Yeah, it's certainly an interesting situation. Obviously Gary O'Neill pulling out earlier on in the week really opened things up for Rob Edwards. Obviously being a former player and coach at the club, there's an emotional tie there. But I do feel like Middlesbrough did him a favour, digging him out of what was a bruising situation, obviously with getting relegated from the Premier League with Luton, then pretty much being ahead of a relegated side again, with Luton dropping down to the third tier, obviously leaving halfway through the season. Middlesbrough did do him a favour, so you'd hope that there's a bit of that coming into it for Rob Edwards, but it's clearly a hard job for him to turn down.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you think it's a good opportunity for him to, again, you get back to the Premier League, that's great for him to jump back up again after a turgid time, but if he just comes straight back down again with Middlesbrough doing as well as they are, knocking on the door for automatic promotion places at the moment, is that a risk that he probably shouldn't take? Or do you think he's ambitious enough to be like, no, I'm back in the Premier League, I can do it?
Without being too disrespectful to Wolves, I don't think it's more ambitious to go for them than it would be for Middlesbrough. I think Middlesbrough is the ambitious job at the moment, because the situation that Wolves are in, they've been selling their top talent for years to meet profit and sustainability. They're in a difficult situation. That's a scenario that you circle the plug long enough, you're going to drop down, and it's going to be a difficult one for them to recover from in the Championship if they continue to sell, and profit and sustainability continues to be an issue for them, as it has been with Leicester, and Leicester are struggling in the Championship now. So I think Rob Edwards would be better served at Middlesbrough, because I think they've got a higher ceiling at the moment. I think Wolves have spent their time in the Premier League, and they probably need do a reset, whereas Middlesbrough are on the up.
Yeah, I see what you mean there. It's going to be interesting to see what he chooses to do. Right, to Preston's Milutin Osmajic now. He's been handed a 9-game ban, a 21 grand fine and a mandatory education course after being found guilty of racially abusing Burnley's Hannibal Medjbury. He'll return on Boxing Day. Do you think that was a fair punishment for the alleged racial abuse incident?
It's a difficult one because of the FA's process, and there's always going to be this balance of probabilities and beyond reasonable doubt scenario. But for me, I do think it's the right outcome, because even if things were said that have been misconstrued, ultimately you've got to make sure you respect your opponents in every way possible, and it's better to not put yourself in a situation where something can be misconstrued. So I think it is the right outcome, obviously based on the evidence the FA have had.
We now need to talk about Coventry City, PUSB, Super Frank Lampard doing the business. He's automatic promotion.
He's not your manager anymore.
I love it. I check Coventry results all the time now. They're flying. I absolutely love it.
Flying.
Oh, Sakamoto, what a man. What a boy. What do you reckon? Automatic promotion assured?
Yeah, it's going to be one of them. The Championship's not served up. The parachute payment teams have been struggling, and the Championship's not served up a consistent runner for Coventry yet. So they've been the standout team. We'll say this time last season, Sunderland and Sheffield United occupied the top two. So there's a long way to go, but 39 goals scored after 14 games. It's just ridiculous. They have wobbled a little bit. I know they lost against Wrexham, but the wins against Blackburn and Watford prior to the defeat to Wrexham, they were showing signs of weakness. But they've set themselves a very high standard. I think automatic promotion. They are the favourites. Of course, they're going to be the favourites. They're top of the league, and they've been the best team by far so far.
Also, Justin, we've got more good news. QPR lost 3 games in a row. It's all going wrong over there, right?
It's been a drop-off in form. It's been a strange one, although the performances have been okay the last couple of games, but they're becoming a little bit streaky and reverting to type. Richard Kone's dropped off a little bit. A couple of other players have also dropped off, and they know they've had a couple of injuries. Paul Nardi in goals not been covering himself in a lot of glory. So I think it's one of them where QPR are going to go through the motions. They're going to have a good run of form again, and they're going to drop off again. They're a mid-table team.
He loves to hear that. Justin, I want to talk to you about this one because this one really, my eyes lit up with this one. Steven Nzonzi at Stoke. I was out at the Qatar World Cup in 2022 and I had the pleasure of visiting Al Rayyan, the owner of there, took us there to see the team, see what they've been doing, but it was in the off-season because it was because the World Cup was on. And there was a training game going on and I said, I know him. I've seen that player before. That's Steven Nzonzi. And he said, yeah, we brought him in, he's World Cup winner, we brought him in here, he's playing Al Rayyan, etc., etc. And now, after nearly 10 years, he's made his return back to Stoke. He scored his first goal in their win against Oxford. The 36-year-old has rejoined the club on a 1-year deal. Can he play a key role for Stoke? No, it's currently second in the league. Could we think the unthinkable here?
It's good to have a World Cup winner in your squad at Championship level, isn't it? Come on. I think even if he's not going to get a lot of game time, that experience in a squad, in any squad at this level, is going to be so vital. And obviously he's a feel-good story, so there's a nice link for supporters. Obviously with Stoke, they've been down in the mice for a long time. It's been a terrible atmosphere at the Bet365 over the past few years. So actually getting a link to the better times over there is also going to be a massive positive. He's the first World Cup winner to score at Championship level, by the way.
That's incredible. Rory, you got to see Rory's face right now. He's on his laptop going, Steven Nzonzi, World Cup. What's going on here? He can't believe it. Yes, it's real.
Steven Nzonzi, like Blackburn Rovers a decade ago.
Yeah, and at Stoke when it was under Pula, he was amazing. Yeah. And when I went out to Qatar and I saw this little training match in this little stadium, I was going, that's Steven Nzonzi. We took pictures of him and everything, holding up shirts and everything. It was amazing, and now he's back. I love it. I want to ask you this as well, Justin. Gary O'Neill with the Southampton links, of course, following Will Steele sacking Gary O'Neill. We saw he turned down the chance to miraculously go back to Wolves, but he has emerged as a contender for the Southampton job. His potential move could anger Portsmouth fans as well, given his history with the club, though.
It's certainly an interesting one. It's a difficult one for any manager when you go to a rival club. You're on the back foot or very, very quickly. And obviously, Gary O'Neill was a Portsmouth fan. And obviously, as you said, former Portsmouth player. That being said, he's such a good coach and he's so good at picking squads up when they are in a pretty bad place. You go back to his Bournemouth team, who were in a terrible run of form after Scott Parker was sacked. Wolves as well. He did such a good job with Wolves, again, selling top talent, but he managed to get them overperforming. I know it didn't quite end well last season, but he's a very talented coach, and I think he's one that I think has gone under the radar for a lot of clubs. He would have been my top choice this summer. It's just whether or not that link to to Portsmouth is going to hold him back a little bit with Southampton. But that being said, Will Steele, very talented coach, but not the right character for that squad. I think Gary O'Neill is. And also, if you want promotion, I think Gary O'Neill could definitely put you in contention.
Yeah, absolutely. Be a keen eye on that one to see what Gary chooses to do. Justin, absolute pleasure, mate. Have a great weekend with whatever you're deciding to do. That is Justin Peach there, host of the Second Tier podcast. Right, next up, we turn our attentions back to the Premier League, and we'll be looking at Jamie Carragher's comments today that English football is in reverse.
Get in the ring to win on talkSPORT.
Got a new prize up for grabs, and it's a knockout. We're giving you the chance to win 2 tickets to the highly anticipated rematch between Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium on Saturday the 15th of November. The prize includes a one-night stay at a 5-star hotel in London, plus £5,000 spending money to make it an unforgettable weekend. Listen up, here's how to enter.
18 plus, UK excluding Northern Ireland. For a chance to win, text the word BOX to 83338 and you're in the draw. Text costs £2 plus 1 standard network rate message. You must have the bill payer's permission, or you can enter for free by calling 0330 880 3338. All entries must be received by the 13th of November at 1 p.m. and you need to answer our call to win. This is a TalkSPORT limited promotion. Full terms and conditions at talksport.com.
And don't forget that talkSPORT will bring you live commentary of the fight next Saturday evening, while you'll also be able to watch along with the team over on talkSPORT Boxing YouTube channel. That's Chris Eubank Jr. versus Conor Benn, and that's live next Saturday on talkSPORT, or watch on DAZN. Plus, next Wednesday, 12th of November, we have the talkSPORT grudge match on the paddle court. Drive Time's Andy Goldstein and Darren Bent will be taking on Jamie O'Hara and Gary Ogbon-Lahore for the bragging rights at talkSPORT. You can watch the whole thing live on talkSPORT's dedicated YouTube stream for the game, or listen on H&J from 1 p.m. for live updates from Ollie Klink. That's talkSPORT Paddle this Wednesday, at 1 p.m. And I've seen Darren many times. He looks like one of them professional racket players where he comes in with the big, massive backpack with 5 rackets in it. He's got the proper shoes. He's got the knee brace, sweatbands.
I think they're always going to be good. You know, any former athlete, they're just always
he's just
good.
So competitive. Yeah, same with Gabby. I bet he's probably handy as well. So yeah, that's going to be interesting to see how they get on. Let's talk Jamie Carragher now, because he's done an interesting piece.
Today's Telegraph.
Yeah, in today's Telegraph, talking about English football is in reverse. Jamie Carragher will be on Saturday edition this Sunday with Sean Custis and Henry Winter, so that will be great. Now, rather than absorb the standards set by Pep Guardiola especially and seek innovative means of propelling the game, more Premier League coaches are looking to the past over redefining the future. We are in a period of regression. That's what he said. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I don't think you can.
It's going backwards. Is it going backwards, or is it just going to something that we've seen before?
No, it's definitely going backwards. You can't argue with it. I think in the piece, Jamie Carragher, he makes a point perfectly well, perfectly clearly, and perfectly articulately, and he's correct. He says that football peaked in 2019. In that season when Manchester City and Liverpool hunted each other down, I think Liverpool ended up losing the league, didn't win the league but still managed to accrue 97 points.
Yeah.
Some of the football that was played in that season was, in Jamie Carragher's opinion, the most scintillating that we've ever seen. Now, I would contest that. I don't find the football played that. I used to find Pep Guardiola's system a little bit tedious. I appreciate that to play it is incredibly difficult. It's incredibly intricate. It's so difficult to get right. But I didn't necessarily enjoy it in the way that I have done other teams, other ways of playing. But let's just agree that he's right on that, to now decide how it's gone since then.
I think
it's gone downhill. Look at what we're doing now. Basically, Flex.
I think
Arsenal,
we're looking for something to moan about.
No, we're not. Arsenal,
you know why?
It's fact, though.
Yeah,
Arsenal, the way that Arsenal play, Arsenal are the best team in the country.
Yeah.
But they're just a really sexy, crazy gang, aren't they? They've got a big geezer up front.
Yeah.
They're launching the ball into the box. They're long throws.
What football always was. It was a simple game. I think what we actually did do was, because what was boring was watching all of these pony teams and pony players trying to play out from the back like Pep Guardiola when you're not good enough. That's boring. Watching guys trying to, have triangles in the penalty box, everyone inverting, because everyone was copying each other then. All football, like Sean Dyche said, like he said, skinny jeans, what did he say? Skinny jeans flares, whatever. That's all it is. It's like fashion. Things just come back round. That's what has happened.
But the point, though, is, has football deteriorated since the Carragher peak? Yeah. Carragher says the peak was 2019. I'd say the peak was before that.
No, but that's because it's deteriorated because of, listen, it's 4-4-2. It was 2 defenders against 2 attackers. Central midfielders had to be central midfielders, all action. You'd have to be able to attack. You have to be able to defend, drive, score, tackle. Now it's, I'm a holding midfielder.
No.
Now I'm attacking. For me, that football's changed. But in terms of us going back to We're kicking it long a little bit more now. There's long throws and that. I don't particularly care because what I watched for last 6 years was people trying to play tiki-taka. We're not good enough to play it.
No, but it's not the point whether you care. The point is, has it deteriorated?
I just think it's different. Deteriorating is saying it's worse.
Yeah, has football got worse in terms of?
But I think it's got worse, but not for the. It hasn't got worse because it's long ball now.
No, but the quality of the players has got worse.
Yes, but that's not because it's going long ball though.
But it's not the point. The point is, has it deteriorated?
Yes.
Right.
But what he's saying is he's talking about the regression is due to. I've seen Jeremy say this on sort of Monday Night Football. He's alluding to the regression being because teams are going long now.
No, but
that's what he's saying.
But the reason that that's happening, the reason that it's regressed, is because we're having all these coaches being paid a fortune, and ultimately we're launching the ball into the box off a long throw. So it has deteriorated. Also, the players aren't around. If you think about the team that Pep Guardiola had, and the reason that they could play that intricate football that I found quite dull and tedious.
Exactly.
But the reason that they could play that was because you had the likes of Riyad Mahrez, Jack Grealish. Like those players aren't around now. Like he's trying to.
They weren't around then.
No, Riyad Mahrez was around then.
No, I'm talking about other teams didn't have that.
Now he's trying to get Jeremy Doku to do that, and he can't do it.
No, he's getting Jeremy Doku to get the ball and just get at his man because that's what he does.
Yeah, because Jeremy Doku can't play the intricate system that footballers aren't as good now.
That's fine, and I don't think that's a bad thing. I just think it's different. Also, not everybody. You're waxing lyrical about Bournemouth. They're good to watch. We're looking at Sunderland. They're good to watch. We're looking at who else is good to watch? Liverpool on their day don't play long ball. They're good to watch.
They're good to watch, but they're not. They're not good to watch in as much as are they the greatest that we've ever seen play.
No, but why so? What's that? Not hardly anyone is the greatest we've ever seen play.
Yeah, but that's the point that we're debating. The point is, football peaked, according to Carragher, and this is what we're trying to get to the bottom of.
Yeah.
In 2019, football reached the zenith that, in his eyes, it's the best it ever was. That title race, Liverpool and Manchester City played a brand and a variety of football that created the best version of the Premier League that we've ever seen.
Yeah.
Since then, it's obviously dropped off. Why?
It's dropped off because the style has changed. And I think that people have, even Pep himself doesn't, like say, play that style. He hasn't reconstructed a team that plays in that way. But I think people stopped doing this stupid thing because it was stupid where everybody was trying to play like Pep. That was, to me, that was boring. Watching Russell Martin with Southampton or Vincent Kompany with Burnley, who Vincent Kompany's doing really well now, by the way, but playing that type of football with that team because it's the new way, this is exciting, was boring. So there you have it. There you have it. There you go. Right, that has been Thank Football It's Friday with myself, Flex, and Rory Jennings. We've got a jam-packed show coming up for you next on the Sports Bar Weekender with Adam Cattrall and Jason Cundy next.